Welcome back, everybody, to Two Goalies, One Mic. I am Duane, joined by the one and only Kid Cully, Johnny Cullen, and Mike Rotolo. Three goalies, one mic, but we're not here to talk about Sabres hockey. Well, we kind of are. We're here to talk and have a watch party, a special installment of the 1997 Game 7 matchup against Ottawa from the playoffs, the infamous Derek Plante game. Cully, I'm going to kick it to you. How are you feeling?
Doing great, Duane. Love the intro. You might be putting me out of job there soon. Guys, we got a special treat for you tonight. Not only do we have, some ex-Sabre greats joining us, we got a heck of a hockey game we're about to watch. If that doesn't get your blood flowing, I don't know what will. But also, we are joined by Mikey Rotolo, somebody that I had the pleasure of, growing up a couple years older than him. Not only a fantastic goalie that went on to play Division I hockey for the RIT Tigers, just an all-around Jimmy Butron, guy's just a beautician. Mikey, how you doing, babe?
I'm doing good, I'm really excited to be here. It's an honor, especially with the guys we got coming on tonight.
You mean me?
Yeah, well,
no,
for starters.
I'm just messing with you. Mikey's a great guy. He's going to bring a lot of insight to the show. We're going to be having him on more and more. But, guys, while we get ready to do this thing, I think they're ready. Pleased to be joined on by none other than my mom's favorite player growing up, Dixon Ward.
Schmelik getting it over the line, looking in front of the net. Here's Schmelik around behind the goal to Pekka in the corner. Pekka trying to get away. Kicks it free. Here's Verona. Couldn't get the straight in front of the shot. They score! Dixon Ward! Dixon Ward from his two line mates, and the Buffalo Sabres have regained the lead 3-2. Well, Michael Pekka, again, the catalyst on this goal. If you take the take back to the neutral zone, a great backhand pass through the zone to Richard Schmelik, and that got everything going. Buffalo's defense joining the rush, as they've done oh so often, and then the forecheck begins as Pekka controls the play behind the net with Verona, and Dixon Ward one-times a Verona pass by the goaltender Byron Defoe. And stunningly, the Buffalo Sabres have scored two in a row to take the lead.
Dixon, so great to have you. For those that don't know, only North Dakota Fighting Sioux player to have 100 Genos and 100 apples in his career. Instrumental in the Sabres run to the Stanley Cup in 98-99, but also a big part of them all around. Dixon, big fan of yours. Thanks for being here, bro.
Hey, no problem. My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Dixon, you're always like that. Those teams from the 90s were always my favorites. I grew up on that type of hockey. Grew up I would love to inject that type of Sabres hockey into my veins again, man. That's how much I miss it. Just hard. You guys were the hardest working team in hockey. We used to come to the arena with our hard hats on. I missed the jerseys, everything about that whole culture that was built through your team, coached by both Ted Nolan and Lindy Ruff. I miss it so much. But thank you so much for joining us, man. It's a pleasure.
Yeah, no, those are awesome times, and doesn't seem like that long ago. But if you look at the calendar, it was. But it was a lot of memorable times, a lot of big games played over the course of 4 or 5 years, and more importantly, a lot of great teammates, and obviously the fans in Buffalo were unbelievable. So it was a real special time in my life and my career, and it's always a pleasure to be back talking Buffalo Sabres hockey.
And not only that, we have one of your former teammates, the infamous, I can't even give him an intro, the infamous Rob Ray. Oh, never mind, he's gone.
Barnes and around the net. Keep it at two. Willie at the blue line. Barnes has it. Fires it up. Barnes set it up. And it's 3-0 Buffalo on the Rob Ray goal.
Rob Ray, who didn't dress in the last game, he gets a smile on the face of all the Sabres, including his own, as he tipped in the Barnes shot, and it just went in behind Curtis Joseph.
Rob Ray, you big beauty. How you doing?
Of course, you showed that goal.
Good, gentlemen. Hey, Warda. Hand-eye. You know, it's
I'll never ever forget.
best
I'll never
hand-eye
forget
ever in
that
the
goal
game.
when you came back to the bench. I'll never forget it. It was something else.
Yeah, I tried so hard to find the. No, go ahead, Rob.
I
I
feel
tried.
like if you just let them go,
Handley broke the Leafs back for a decade.
Hey, we're really pleased to have you on, Rob, along with Dixon. I didn't get to the level you guys did, but I always know catching up with teammates. I was able to catch up with Jack Campbell recently, and it's just something special. You have that brotherhood bond for life, right? And really appreciate you guys both being here for this.
Yeah, you know, it was great.
Yeah.
We got together last year when we did the 50th anniversary of the Sabres, and, you know, it was the first time a lot of guys have been back, and it was great to see. And the thing is, when you play with guys like that, it's like you haven't seen anybody for 20 years, but then you walk back into the room, and it's like, you know, it's been 20 days since the last time you saw them. So, yeah, it's great. It's good to see, and it's good to see everybody doing well, and you know, it just kind of makes it all worthwhile, because yeah, winning and losing while you're playing, but I think it's a friendship you make along the way. That, you know, that's the memories you take away.
So we are joined by, you know, obviously we got myself, Johnny Cullen, Duane Steinell, the regular crew. Mikey Rotolo is with us here in the middle, boys. He was RIT's goalie for a few years. Great guy, great goalie. But we, to not keep the fans waiting, 1997. Game 7, quarterfinals against the Ottawa Senators. Just to stir the pot a little bit, I put up a picture of Mike Fisher just to get the blood flowing. That's Senators 8. As we segue into the game, really quick, can you guys just give us a quick, like, what was the rivalry like then? Obviously, our generation's more familiar with the brawl with Emery and them, but in that old Adams division, I think it was. What was it like? What was that year like against them?
Well, I can tell you, the year, if my memory serves me correctly, we were first in the division and they were at the bottom, right? So going into the playoffs in the first round, we were favored. But as Razor can choose to tell you as much info as he wants to, I'm going to leave that to him. That whole series was a very interesting time. That was the series where Dominic got hurt in game 3 or 4 in Ottawa. Steve Shields had to come in and take over. It was quite a time. And as we were going through that series, and when Dominic went down, obviously everybody was, you know, a little bit shocked and a little bit worried. Obviously, he was the pillar of our team at that point, and we were in the middle of a big playoff series, and the series was 2-1 or something at that time, or halfway through game 3 or whenever it was. I remember going out for dinner with Robbie and Bobby Bugner and Brad May the night before the game. We had a great dinner, and we're like, man, this is, you know, there was a lot of stuff going on, and the next day Dom got hurt, and then we were right. We remember that, Razor.
Hey.
Man, you know,
anyway,
it was tough, Dick. So because, you know, we were dealing with a lot at that time. There was so much stuff away from the game, but within the room that was going on, that as young guys, sometimes I look back and go, how the hell did we ever maneuver through it? You know, because you experience stuff like that for the first time. And, you know, so I think what it did, Dixon, is kind of pulled the whole group together moving forward. And, you know,
it sure did. I remember it clear as, like, I don't remember most things in my life. I've been hit in the head a lot, not nearly as many as Rob, but my skin's a little thinner than his, so it probably affected me more. But I remember that time like it was yesterday, and we were going through a lot of stuff. And then obviously our goalie goes down, and Steve Shields, who was, you know, a young, untested guy at that time, it gets thrown in there, and you know, Teddy was under pressure as the coach, and you know, things were going, and we somehow found a way to just grind it out, and it was awesome. For us, it was really exciting because we knew what was going on, and we were, fighting an uphill battle with what was going on with the group, and nothing in the negative sense, just a lot of stuff going on, and
That
distractions.
time of year, you got a ton going on. You talk about the injury to Hasek and Shields. It's that next man up mentality. And speaking of the next man up, we got two more of you beauties on that team. Derek Plante and Matthew Barnaby. Thanks for being here, Derek. Awesome to have you on. What's up?
Thanks,
I'm
guys.
good.
Yeah, fired up. Yeah, this is cool.
Yeah, I heard Dixon say he might have had thinner skin than Rob, but his hairline isn't quite as thin as the old razor.
Fire it off!
Okay.
Just like that.
Oh, that's awesome.
Hey,
Look good, feel good, play
grass
good.
doesn't grow on a busy street, baby. Okay, I'll just tell you that right now.
I'm going to use that one too. I'm getting a little thin up top myself.
Oh, my God.
Really
Matthew's
happy you guys are all here.
Mine's just great, guys. Just great.
That's
Lots
Well,
of great.
too bad Planter made it on, because I've been telling people I scored 2 goals in Game 7 for the last 20 years. Now he's going to dispel the myth.
Personally, man, Alexei Yashin scored the first Derek Plante goal. Let's be real off that face off.
Yeah, he did. He did.
On the game sheet.
You definitely helped it there. But
No kidding. He back in right in.
But thanks again, guys, for joining us. It's been awesome.
Yeah, Duane, and like Duane said, before we get to the game here, thanks again, fellas. And I'm, I know Barney. I've skated with him. He knows I never shut up. But I'm really gonna let you guys take it. You talked about it being in that room and facing that adversity, and there's no better time to do it in this stage. So it's really awesome to have you guys on. So we'll let you guys kind of take it away. Before we get started, Duane, did you have anything else before we get the game going? Guess
No,
not.
again, guys, I just appreciate this a lot, guys.
Who's the best looking guys in the room?
Together. Absolute legends. My favorite. This is like my favorite era of hockey right here. Like my absolute favorite era of Sabres hockey. This is like a dream come true. That's not even a cliche to say. Like for me, this is amazing. Thank you so much.
Real quick question.
Yeah, thank you, guys.
Barney, who's the best looking former player in the room?
Without a doubt, Derek Plante.
He's full of it.
Who looks the oldest? Yeah, Jocko. Good job, buddy.
Yeah, I'm not the oldest. I'm not sure I am, though.
I wanted to stir the pot, but all right. Ty B, our producer, if he's going to fire this up, let's see what we got. Gotta love the ESPN old hockey graphics, eh?
We tried so hard, dude, to get the RJ feed, but the only one we could get from Empire Sports was so grainy, it wasn't watchable. It was terrible.
So for those that don't know, I know Panger, but Dave Strader, look at the muzzy on this guy. Was this the national feed?
Panger doesn't have that hair now.
No, he doesn't.
Still hasn't grown at all.
Strader looks like he's 5'7" compared to Panger.
The injury here, guys. That was the injury to Dom. So what was it like when he went down? Would you guys have confidence in Shieldsy there?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah, Dominic was an awesome player for sure. I mean, we didn't know exactly where half of Shieldsy, but we had confidence in him. We practiced against him every day, and I think he was in the he was in Rochester the year before when you guys won a championship, or 2 years before that. So
he was actually on a show with us last year. One of our first big guests on Two Goalies, One Mic, and he had an unbelievable Tortorella story. But pretty much Tortorella essentially almost challenged to fight him in the locker room.
Barney, what's going on right here?
Okay, Danny Lambert.
Yeah, Denny the Dancing Bear just trying to become one of 200 guys that beat me up. So yeah, look at that. That would be a 5-minute major right now. That hooking.
oh my gosh.
Look at that little grappling. Hey, you played your role well, Barney, and I think the one thing that made this team special, and not to bring up the current Sabres, is you didn't need to be a 30-goal guy to have appreciation in your role and know how important it was. Razor, I heard you talking about that the other night, but it seems like this team just had a bunch of guys that knew what they had to do to help this team win.
Yeah, we weren't blessed with a bunch of superstars. You had Dom that would be considered and Michael Peck and it was just a group of guys that cared for each other and willing to play for each other. So, we didn't rely on one person too often. It was done by a group, and it was a close group too.
Yeah, I think a thing that stands out about that team is I think we kind of came there together. We're young guys. I mean, Razor was probably one of the older guys in the room, and Gary Galley, I think too. But the rest of us were all kind of younger guys that were there just after LaFontaine and McGillney and Howard, Chuck, and some of those Hall of Fame players. And we had the right coach at the right time that just pushed our buttons and gave us an identity that we were going to be the hardest working team, which I thought was, we all kind of grasped that. And then all the other stuff that happened outside of hockey just bonded us. And I think that's what made this whole season really pretty fun, and probably why we got so excited at the end of the game, really.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
And just further to that, great points by the guys. Like, we really got along. And I don't think I've ever seen a team, honestly, of guys that really embraced their role, whatever that role was, whether you were a power play guy, whether you were a PK guy, a tough guy, whatever, a scorer. Everyone embraced their role and understood their role, that they had to do that role to perfection, or at least the best that they could for us to win on any given night. And I think that's why it was special. There wasn't one guy that scored 60 goals for us. It was a different guy stepping up every single night. And I think that's really, a tribute to Ted Nolan in playing everyone, but also the guys for accepting whatever role they were. And it was about winning hockey games. It didn't matter who got the accolades. It was just about winning hockey games, and we had some fun.
So going back to this game, what was the atmosphere like? Was this still Marine Midland Arena?
A lot of fun.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
What was the atmosphere like in this barn? Was this, I was 6 years old at the time, but like, was it pumping in there?
Thanks for that. Right.
From the youth, bud.
Yeah, I think what I remember is just the electricity of the playoffs in itself. And I think going to Game 7, it was just like, wow, this is really happening. I think the game kind of been back and forth, and the buzz in Buffalo at that time is starting to become spring, a little bit warmer. It was awesome. So I think the intensity in the rink and it portrayed all of that. So it was a lot of fun.
The one thing I feel bad for this young generation of hockey fans is when the weather gets warm, you're into the next season, and that buzz around. I went through it with, I think, the 07, 08 team with Drury and Breer and them, but like this generation of kids doesn't get it. And Buffalo is such a special town to be in. And you guys got to experience that. And I can't even imagine being at this. My dad was talking to me about it, his memories of this, but is that Daryl Shannon?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
What a beauty. Look at those old CCM helmets too. Did you guys all wear the CCM buckets?
I think we were just past that. I think only like a couple years before that, the Bowers came out. Otherwise, everybody had the CCM buckets if they had a bucket.
Love those helmets. What a look.
Barnaby, I got a question for you. I heard a story. I'm not sure if it's true.
It's
probably true. When they first came out with the composite sticks, I heard something along the lines of, obviously they were expensive and certain players only got so money. I heard about a transgression or some type of fight on a bus between you and Rob Ray over somebody breaking somebody's stick. Is that true?
In the famous words of our boys from Wolf on Wall Street, I do not recall. Yeah, me and Razor got into it over a stick. I can't remember how it exactly transpired. Razor probably, was probably on the wrong end of it. I was probably a saint, but it ended up at the back of a bus when we were on our way to practice at Buff State. And let's just say I was 2 teeth less by the time we got to practice.
Well, it wasn't a fight over razor stick because he didn't have sticks, did he?
I might have broken the push stick.
Hey, it's got to be hard to have a stick with no hand.
Not having a stick, I didn't need it. I think I ever had with my name on it.
Oh, I love it.
Oh man, it was amazing. Yeah,
Just say it's gone.
Look at that, Rob, finishing the hit below the goal line, setting the tone for the boys, eh?
Yeah, you don't see that very often anymore.
I didn't even know I played in this game, tell you the truth.
Look at that, 2 hits in 1 shift, just separating boys from the pucks. Love it. Rob, who was your line? Did you and Barney play together on this?
Is that Preems in the middle, or is that Cruiser?
Primo.
No, I was playing with Planner.
Probably whoever was playing bad.
The boogeyman. You guys must have sped this up because boogeyman looks like he's got good feet.
Hey, Boogie was my coach in Windsor. I first met him in the steam room because he was coaching Columbus. But what a guy, eh? He gave me some stories from that era. But Boogie is happy to see him having success. Well, not really in San Jose, but happy he's back behind the bench.
Too bad he didn't pay you off the books like he did.
Did he tell you about anybody ever got in? He got his ass whipped.
Hey, but yeah, Barney, he got not only Cam Fowler, but Jack Campbell and a couple other guys. They paid Cam Fowler's sister's tuition to Michigan State. That's what that was. But Boogie was awesome, man. Him and DJ Smith both. Ironically enough, DJ's now coaching the Sens. But what was Boogie like as a teammate, guys?
Well, Boogie was a great teammate. He took more punches in the face for his teammate than anybody in the history of the game.
More than Rob?
Oh yeah, Rob gave more punches in the face than anybody, but Boogie took more. He was really good at taking them, but he was there every single time to stand up for anybody. And his claim to fame, I think, he's the last guy that ever played in the NHL that couldn't raise the puck from the blue line to the net. I'm not exaggerating.
You can't go glassing out if you can't get the puck on the glass.
What an ugly fucking stick he had, too.
Oh, yeah. He couldn't. He had to two bounce it to the net. So you had to time it. If you're going to screen, you had to time it. Otherwise, you'd be unconscious by the time the puck got to the net because you get 6 cross checks.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, he had the smallest hands of any man I've ever seen.
Yeah, little cigar fingers.
Oh yeah, and he licked them nonstop. Remember that?
Oh, that's gross.
He'd sit on the plane and lick his fingers nonstop.
Where was I during this shit?
We can only talk about him like this because we all love him. He was a great.
Boogie was great, man. It really, there's no doubt Windsor had the success they did when those Memorial Cups, not just because of Hall and them, because Boogie and DJ did a great job, man.
I'm sure he set the tone for sure.
He was a player's coach for sure. Hey, so on this, any of you guys on the power play here?
Planter may be.
Crickets. Crickets.
Yeah,
I haven't watched this game since we played it, I don't think. So I haven't really.
Oh, Don is dead.
Oh,
Look at Don just taking it for the team.
that's awesome.
Planner or Dixon might be on the power play.
Oh, I'm on there.
Right there.
Yeah.
Well, this must have been pre-Lindy.
Dixon, yeah.
1 for 23, boys.
Well,
Figure it
if
out.
was out there, Dixon would have to be with him.
They could throw anybody out there and do better, huh?
Yeah, well, that's why we're 1 for 23, so they had to change it up.
Here we go.
Goalies out there.
Richard Schmelik.
You see Richie Schmelly out there. I'll tell you what, Schmelly's in better shape now than he ever was when he played. You should see him; he's chiseled.
Another awesome guy.
Is it true he owns a dog grooming business now?
No, it's a dog kennel here in Buffalo.
A dog kennel. Okay.
Speaking of chiseled, where's Dozzy?
I messaged him. I messaged him. He never responded.
Hey, rounds of shape too, boys.
Rounds of shape too. Hey, for all the European guys, all the Schmeliks, the Groschiks, was there a language barrier like there was, like I experienced in junior, or was everybody pretty good at least understanding English?
We never talked about
English pretty well. Groschick didn't really know how to speak very well, but the other,
his wife did though.
Speak. I don't think he can speak Czech very well either. But
Jackson,
give me a paycheck. I go to bank.
Yeah.
Here's a question. Like for North American, how difficult was it to just like obviously communicate in the beginning and like really go back and forth with your Russian or Czech teammates? Like, how easy was it in the beginning to like play with like those guys and really communicate with them on the ice or even practice?
It's probably more of a thing in the locker room than it is on the ice. It seems like everybody kind of speaks the language of hockey when you get out there. But in the locker room, it's probably harder for those guys because most guys are speaking English, and they could break it down a little bit and try to get you what their meanings were. But it was probably hard for them more than us, because they never spoke that in the locker room. he just didn't have a lot of conversations.
Barney, I got a quick question for you.
In most cases, he didn't want Groshie talking to you. His breath was so bad.
No, Audette was the worst at English, and he was Canadian.
That's true.
Hey, so Barney, with Ron Tugnut in that, was he in the CCHL when Matthew was in there?
Yeah, he owned and coached Kempville, and his son was there, who now plays NCAA.
You ever cross paths with him at all when you were up there?
Not all that much, to tell you the truth. No, I'm kind of on the east side of the city, so I don't see him much. He was so busy. I was busy traveling, but I ended up playing with Tugger in Pittsburgh. Great guy, really, really good guy.
So when you guys come into this series, I was too young. What was he viewed at? Like, was he a top 10 goalie in the league? He's obviously solid if they got to this point. But like, what was your guys' pre-scout on a guy like him?
Shoot under the bar. He's about 5'7", like Dixon.
He's a little guy.
Yeah, he's not a big guy. He looks more like a librarian than a hockey player.
Yeah,
best last names ever though, Tugnut.
Oh, the best.
That's a Hall of Fame name in my book.
Yeah, and you got to remember these two goalies in this game were played against each other in the Calder Cup final the year before.
Who won that one?
Rochester.
Oh, nice. How many of you guys won?
That was playing in Washington system in Portland, Maine.
How many of you won the Calder the year before?
Oh boy, Dixon, you'd know, right?
What's that?
Any of you guys in the interview were on that Rochester team?
No.
Yeah, I won the Calder Cup with Rochester the year before this.
Nice. Oh, that boy Shieldsy, big save.
He's saving a Butte. He was a fun guy to talk to, man. He was like, he was off the cuff, like unscripted. He was such a cool guy to talk to. I know, Cully, you weren't there for that episode. Ty B was, but he was a real cool guy to talk to. I tried getting him on tonight, but he's coaching right now at Michigan. Actually, working with Sabres prospect Eric Portillo. I think he's supposed to come out with us next week, but awesome guy to talk to, real friendly.
So, Dixon, were you closer with Shieldsy then? Because you guys went through that in the Calder Cup the year before?
Yeah. I played most of the year in Rochester the year before. I think I only played 8 or 10 games for Buffalo the last year of the odd. And Shieldsy was in Rochester pretty much the whole year there, so I got to know Shieldsy really well. So I probably had more confidence in him than most guys because I got to see him go through the playoffs the year before, and the Calder Cup is certainly not an easy thing to win, and he did a great job the year before. So I wasn't at all surprised that he played well for us here in Buffalo this series for sure.
Got a quick question for you. What's the hardest trophy to win? The Mem Cup, the Calder Cup, an Olympic gold, or the Stanley Cup?
Say that again. The M
All
Cup.
of them. I never won any.
Mem Cup, Stanley Cup, because a lot of people say the Mem Cup just because of the grind. But I from you guys, even the guys that didn't play Major Junior, Mem Cup, Stanley Cup, Calder Cup, or World Junior Gold.
Oh, definitely not World Junior Gold. That's probably last, because there's only 2 or 3 teams that can win it. I'd have to stay with the Stanley Cup. You know,
What a trip!
Best players in the world. M Cup, there's always a team that gets an automatic bye, so they could have literally 8 weeks off and then play. So I'm going to go with the Stanley Cup, but equally as hard as probably the Calder Cup. Anytime you're in a 7-game series, obviously in the Memorial Cup, you got to win another tournament on top of it. But there's always
the
a team
American
that's
League
there.
grind, though, right? The American League has always been tough, no?
What's that?
The American League has always been a fucking grind, no?
Yeah, the American League is a grind. It's great hockey. It's tough hockey back in the day. It's obviously changed and evolved with the way the game has changed. But yeah, it's a grind. You playing 3 games in 3 nights when we played, that's tough with the travel and the toughness.
Well, you're not flying everywhere, right? You're on the bus.
Yeah, I think the one that probably the Stanley Cup's probably the hardest in my opinion too, because I was in the IHL and we won a cup there, but what happens there sometimes is some of the best players get stolen for a little while to go up to the like playing the Stanley Cup finals and stuff. So sometimes that you'll have a really good team and all of a sudden you'll take some of your best players and they're not there.
So, hey, sorry to interrupt. What's going through your guys' minds right here? Any of you, I know it's not a minus because it's a PK goal, but any of you on the ice for this? And what's the feeling right here? You always want to get that first one in the game sevens, you know?
Well, it's a PK. Me or Rob aren't on. I know that.
No,
I'm
not out there. It wasn't my fault.
Well, hey, Steve Schill's doing his best Dominic Hasek right here, eh?
Oh, yeah.
Look at this spin. Let's see. It goes low to the slot. Who's the weak side forward on the kill?
That looks like no Zhitnik, yeah.
No, Zhitnik's weak side D. Who's number 5?
Oh, weak side D?
I couldn't see who it was on the...
Zhitnik and Schmelik were out there.
Forwards.
Yeah, it was Bolzinger, and I couldn't tell who the other one was.
I thought it was number 5, weak side. Anyways.
No, five's Woolley.
So Woolley got caught a little deep there. I know you got to take that guy to the far post, but hey, on this team, Ted Nolan's the head coach. Who ran the penalty kill? Do you remember?
Donnie Lever.
Donnie Lever.
I don't know him at all. Is he a good assistant?
Awesome.
Yeah, Donnie was great. I think Teddy was really kind of a motivator, and Donnie was more like the systems guy. He kind of figured that out, and he broke that stuff down. Where I think Ted was motivator and line maker, all that stuff. But so yeah, Donnie did a good job with all that stuff.
Now, do you guys remember? Right here, like you look at this year's team, and it looks like it's the highs and lows. There's no consistency in that emotion. This group, you guys talked about how close you were in the room and the adversity you dealt with. Going down 1-0 here, was there any panic, or was it business as usual?
I think at this point it's business as usual, but at the same time, I think our pants are a little bit on fire. Like holy cow, because we were pretty excited. We wanted to win so bad that we didn't want to get behind, and obviously we wanted to get behind by 2. So.
Well, you get that first goal at home, it really gets the fans going, right? Especially at this time.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, but I also think in the playoffs, you go down 1-0. Obviously, we want to score the next one. You don't want to go down by 2. There's absolutely no panic.
No.
But at the same time, it's playoffs. The ebbs and flows of the game change, and they're still behind us. They're crazy fans there, man. They're absolutely bonkers and love their Sabres, love their Bills. But certainly it wasn't going to get any quieter because it was a loud building, man.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's panicking too. There's a little 5 minutes left in the first period, so.
And you guys really haven't tested Tugnut at all,
Hall of Fame name.
We're just wearing them down, setting them up.
We're just waiting for Deg to come on the ice.
What's that?
We're just waiting for Deg to come on the ice because we know we'll get a few chances then.
He's a career minus guy. Where's his green jacket?
Oh, yeah. Talk about his motivator cuff was at an all-time low, even in a Game 7.
Broken cartilage.
Yeah.
So, but seriously, though, thinking of that matchups, right? Like, is that – you guys have the last change here. Was Ted good about that? Or did you guys have, like, a line? Obviously, like you mentioned. Who were you trying to match up against that line? Or was it just, hey, let's roll?
Well, I'll tell you a story about how it all worked. And Yashin was the guy, but I'll give you a little backstory because I was part of the whole thing. We were – later in the season – in the regular season, we were out on a West Coast trip. We went into LA and we got shellacked pretty good in LA. And then we went to Chicago and we were playing the Blackhawks. And after the morning skate, Paul Theriault, who was one of our assistant coaches, came to me on the ice and said, hey, you're not going to play it. You're not going to dress tonight. And I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? Why not? He says, well, you were fucking -4 yesterday. And so I said, well, yeah, but I had my guy sort of deal.
Team game, coach. Fuck.
So he gives me a little bit of a skate. He sort of felt bad for me. So he gave me a little bit of a 5-minute sort of skate, and I went into the locker room in the United Center, and Teddy was riding the bike in the back room, and so I walked into Teddy and I said, hey, what's going on? He says, hey, listen, man, you had a tough one. Don't worry about it. Just take the night off and get you back out there or whatever. And I says, well, the least you could do is can you tell the press or something I got a bad groin or I got the flu or something. Like,
He's got the shit.
I'm tired of being healthy scratch. He says, you know what? So he's like, man, let me think about it. And he says, playoffs are coming up here and I want to put together a checking line. So you know what? I've changed my mind. I'm going to put you with Pekka and Don. We're going to practicing the checking line thing. So after I played that night, I talked him out of scratching me. He put Pekka and I and Dawsey together, and we matched up against Yashin the entire series as a checking line, and that sort of was the start of it all. So that's the way Ted he felt bad, so he changed his mind.
Hey, props to you for talking out of it. You said it was you, Pekka, and who else?
Jason Daw.
Oh wow! So like you say, checking line. That line doesn't get used anymore, but that was your matchup line, right?
Yeah, that was the matchup line, my whole time in Buffalo, it pretty much matched Pekka and I and Dawsey, and then it was Pekka and I and Barada for the most part when we were doing the matchup stuff. And we didn't have a first line, a second line, a third line, a fourth line. It was
the great teams didn't, right? It sounds like you guys could roll. Everybody knew their role. But on the flip side, what was Ottawa's depth like outside of Yashin? Who else did they have, boys?
I just saw Alfredson's out there. They had Dag.
Oh my God.
How young was Alfredson?
Sean McEachern was a good player, yeah.
Yeah, Sean McEachern, the 30 goals.
McEachern played with some jam too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they had
He's a fast player.
Tom
Radek Bonk. Was Bonk on that team?
Yeah, maybe Tom Chorsky would won a cup in the Devil.
Jersey.
Oh, look at that handsome son of a bitch.
Oh, yeah.
Helmets off for the ladies.
I think Duchesne was a pretty offensive defenseman.
Yeah, he was, yeah.
Hey, was Jason Daw a good teammate?
Great teammate.
Oh, yeah.
He's got the black
My
tubes.
first roommate when I got to Buffalo.
The black tubes. Oh, look at that. That's a fucking suspension today.
Oh,
There's 2 suspensions right there.
That's 10 games in today's world. Holy shit.
Oh, man. That's
the second terrible penalty of this game. He had that hook in the front of the net.
Well, look how big these penalty boxes are. Fuck. He's got a whole team in there. Oh, Duane.
Stand up style.
Good shot.
Right.
Lance Pillock, I see him. He's a Minnesota.
Hey,
God.
I've only skated with Barney, but I always thought that I could have been a Hall of Fame goalie if I came through this era, just because I was an aggressive asshole. But you guys watching the game now, the goaltending, how much has that changed the game?
Oh my God.
Lights out. That's hugely different. My kids make fun of me all the time. They're like, no wonder. How come you not score more goals? All you got to do is shoot at the goalies. But
hey, look how far Tugger came out there. I don't think the kids get it that these goalies, they played a different style. The butterfly wasn't huge, but they really took away the angle, and that's a huge part of it, right?
Yeah,
right.
They play completely differently. Yeah.
Here's the big difference from when I see it. I mean, the goalies are bigger and more athletic now, I think, obviously, but the sticks are a big thing.
Yeah.
Everybody can shoot the puck now. Every 15-year-old kid can shoot the puck 90 miles an hour. And so it's a lot different than using that old branches twig that Barney tried to take a slap shot.
Dixon Ward used to spend at least an hour every morning working on his stick. He'd burn it to a crisp.
Yeah.
Bend it 3 times sideways, and then he'd try to use it in the game. Yeah. Randy Burge wouldn't use his stick till he used it for a week, and then he put some what was that, fiberglass tape on it.
Yeah, to make it
an stick, right?
Yeah.
Then he would use it in the game. Like those.
Razor's got about 100 of them behind his head.
Tell him the difference with scoring goals now, though. Back then, you had to fight the camel clutch, 2 guys skiing on your back, and maybe someone punching you in the face on the way to the net. Little different.
Yeah, the can opener was still a thing. Holding was still a thing. Hooking.
Hey, when you push a guy on the back of his pants, what do you guys call that? Is that the can opener? No, this can opener stick. You know how you can get leverage on the back of their pants? What do you call that? I used to do that as a goalie. I'd get it right in the hip.
That's a love nudge. That's all.
That's hockey, baby.
Yeah. No, the can opener is when you stick the stick between the legs and twist.
Yeah.
And the guy
Hey, Shields got a good helmet there. He's playing well. They come in end of the first. Look at this. Is that Alfredsson?
Dave. He didn't want to get dead, so he shot it. He had a breakaway.
I love these Jofa helmets on that guy. Those were any of you guys wear a Jofa?
No.
No, Joe, no way.
You
Way
guys-
cooler than that.
We used to call
There's only
it
one guy that deserved to wear a Jofa, and it wasn't Alexander Digg.
Oh my God.
So second period, what was the intermission like? Just hey, business as usual. Let's get this next one. Any memories of that?
Yep.
Was
No, I
Ted
think
Young
everybody's
a big intermission speech guy?
Yeah, what was he like? What was he like in the locker room in between periods?
This time of year, I think it was only if we needed it. You know, I don't think there's any point in anything. You probably just pointed out a few things and went about our business. Everybody kind of has their own routine between periods, and I don't remember him saying anything huge. The only time we got that is if we didn't play very well. Then he'd come and razz us a little bit.
Did he have the jam to get you guys going?
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That was his greatest asset.
yeah, that was his big strength for sure. He'd say the right things, push the right buttons.
Yeah, he didn't let us go out in Florida one night
Guys
at the
go through
bar.
a wall.
He get you to skate through a wall for him.
Mm-hmm.
Is that Holzinger?
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
five
yeah,
holes in.
watching this.
Talk about another Hall of Fame name. What was he like? Good guy?
Great guy.
Great guy.
Look at that move.
Look at the
Great
hands
wheel.
on him.
That was an accident.
Shot through the legs too across the grain.
But
Lots
he
of
didn't even
skill.
raise it. That's the difference, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
if his hands were as good as his feet, he'd been a 50 goal scorer.
Oh, he'd still be playing.
Yeah.
Oh,
Where is
man,
Zinger?
I
Does
lost it
anybody
all.
know?
For every goal they score, he's
I
standing in
tried to get
front
a hold of
the
him
net.
too. I reached out to Daw, Holzinger. I tried to one of my favorite players from those teams was definitely Jeff Sanderson. Only because
man.
I have an epic picture of him scoring on Eddie Belfour in the '99 finals. So he's always one of my favorite players from those teams. But yeah, man, it's tough. Facebook seemed to be the go-to. Rob, I know I got you on Instagram, but Derek, I got you on Twitter. But a lot of those guys seem to still be on Facebook. So I tried reaching out, and I got really not a ton of responses. But
We're getting no shot 12-4, boys.
Yeah, we're sucking them in.
Yeah.
Hey, just playing the long game, fellas. Playing the long game.
Right. Come from behinds are way more fun.
Can I tell you what? I'm just actually excited watching a good team for once.
Hey, you're not wrong though, Rob.
Kind of a shot.
It's a different game, but man, yeah, that's a penalty shot today. But man, this team has jam. Like there's ebbs and flows in the game, but you don't after the whistle, you guys don't look defeated like this team does. Like I don't know. I'm not trying to shit on this year's team, but
Rob, you just really addressed the elephant in the room amongst us because we weren't sure if we were going to address that with you just because obviously your position with the team. But Cully couldn't have said it better himself that this team definitely is lacking what this team that we're watching right now had.
Was that a leadership?
You know what the problem is? It's like this.
I think there's just a lot of fighters in the room.
We have a leader.
Yeah. I don't know. I think there's a lot of guys that like.
There was, guys wore letters, but everybody would stand up and, whomever would say what they have to say because nobody would get upset about it. If you got called out, they'd, use it as motivation. Nobody went crying about it that somebody was picking on them. You use it as motivation to better yourself.
Is that a generational thing, though? Kids today are soft. For all you guys that have coached your kids, Barney, I know I've coached with you. It's a lot of coddling to this generation, and I'm not saying the NHL guys, but like that's had to have played effect, no?
Of course, the NHL guys too. They're a product of our society and us as parents and what's accepted. The teacher's always wrong. The coach is always wrong. Everything's always wrong unless you get what you're right. Listen, I play with Planter and Groshek. And I love playing with them. We all brought a different dynamic, but there's not many days that went by that we didn't motherfuck each other in practice or during a game. If one guy didn't cover.
It's true. I mean, we didn't take it personal. It was just like do a better job, and we're like,
that's accountability at its finest.
And the main thing for players and on our whole team, not just our line. Our whole lineup did it. Our whole D-corps did it. Everyone did it, and everyone held each other accountable. It didn't matter who it was. I don't care if you were the top scorer or the guy that just got called up and played 10 games. Everyone had a voice in that room. There was no hard feelings. It was about winning, and guys were actually really good, I thought, at holding themselves accountable. And hey, is there games that I played like shit? And maybe I responded with like, fuck off, planner. And then I went home and I'm like, you know what?
No, not you.
I was, yeah. Just pick up a skate and throw it through a TV. But yeah.
I was hoping you were going to say that.
I told that story somewhere else not long ago. Fuck, I'll never forget it. But one other thing to the team thing, the big difference nowadays, one of the big differences, if you look at this team and you take Dominic out of the equation, we're all making the same money, give or take a couple $100,000. Like,
we're all on the same level. You're right.
Nobody was making any money,
right?
Relative. So nobody was more important.
Shanny.
Shanny had him on the tracks. Right.
Wow.
Hey, but I love, you don't see as much of that, but hey,
he's out of the game right now.
That's a game like that. That gives you life, right? You don't see a ton of that now with this team.
No, you can't.
Well, that might be a suspension. You're right.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah, 5-minute hooking.
Bernie, what happened, buddy? You got skates?
Oh, probably trying to draw a penalty or.
I'm actually disappointed Barney didn't just like tug that out right there.
Yeah, I was just thinking, Barney, that's a great example of being able to pull his ACL.
Trust
me. Regular season, he takes the goalie out. Playoffs.
I know.
Well, I just came back. I didn't play it the series because of my knee.
Punches him in the head.
What was it, Barney? ACL, MCL?
MCL. If that's game one, I take him right out for sure. But you know how hard it was to play in the NHL with these calves? Like, for me to stand up, of course I'm going to fall down.
Hey, did you know how players today, if they have an MCL injury, they can play with that brace? Like the football player brace?
It's dealing with the pain that's the hardest part.
Yeah. Was it like a grade 2 then, I'm assuming? Or
I think it was a grade 3.
I got a couple of them as a goalie, though. It's different. Like you can't.
Hey, look where that face-off is. They don't do that anymore either.
No.
The face-off?
Yeah, right on top of the circles. I was telling somebody out the other day that they used to.
Yeah, I didn't even catch that. When did that come out of the league? Do you guys remember?
I don't know.
Damn, Buffalo power play 0 for 2 tonight.
What was it? Was that? Did that happen? If there was like a tie up on the wall? If there was like, what was that? When did they drop the puck there?
Yeah, like if the puck went out of the over the glass or something.
If it was close, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, wherever the puck went out.
There was no 2-line pass in this, was there?
No. Oh yeah, there was.
Yeah,
2-line pass.
Yeah, they didn't take that out till the next year or the year after.
That's fucking crazy, man.
I don't know if did they take it out? When did they take it out? I thought they didn't take
the 2-line pass came out after the lockout.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I fucked up.
After the lockout.
Which one of the 5?
Hey,
how many guys?
Fucking right.
There it is. Donald, what's that?
Come on,
point juicy roll, though.
There you go.
Oh my God.
It came through.
Look at that bench, though. Look at the boys. The boys are fired up.
That's real, eh? That's real. That's real emotion there. That's awesome.
Yeah, I've been in so many games in that arena, man. Me and my dad were season. My dad was probably at this particular game. I'm almost positive he was. I was at the previous home game. But those walls can shake, man, and they haven't shaken in a long time.
Hey, now let me ask you this, guys. Do you see how whoever that is got a piece of his pad?
Donald Audette.
That's no goal, right?
It's not a goal now.
I don't know. I went in before it, but that's getting called back. I just love looking at the jam. Nobody's going. Look, you got 4 guys in front of the net. It doesn't need to be a market. Just get it through. I tell my defense,
got dumped.
Get it through. Donald Audette, what a beauty.
He got dumped
right there.
Oh.
Hey, what was his nickname? Donnie?
He's a grandfather now.
No way. So he was a veteran on that team?
Yeah, I guess so.
Well, no,
He's a grandfather now. Do you believe that?
He played for Buffalo twice. I remember we got him. We got him a second time around. Was it from the Thrashers? Maybe. Did he ever play for the Thrashers?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Yep. He did.
Yeah, I remember we got him.
I think that was a deadline decision.
Mm-hmm. Scored 30 there.
Yeah,
I think.
he came back from the Thrashers at the deadline.
He's just making sure
we got
he
him
knows
and Bob
it's his goal.
Corkum, didn't we?
Bob Corkum, another all-team name. Low to high from the half wall, get it through traffic, and the boys in front, sticks down, fucking pucks on net, baby. That's a fucking great goal, man. I miss seeing that kind of shit. Tugger, what are you whining about? That's a good goal. You probably shouldn't have given up the rebound, pal. Oh, what a sally from Donald.
Oh yeah, great goal. Just ask him.
Yeah. He didn't even touch it.
Guys, I'm going to say really quick.
Nick my stick.
Where did you guys go after this monster win? Where was the spot downtown Buffalo?
I don't know. I got drunk somewhere. I can tell you that.
Yeah, I don't remember. I think we were gassed.
I just miss seeing the rink like this, man.
I'm
Like
sure
I have two young daughters now. I've taken them to a few games, and they don't know. They've never seen it like this.
Man.
Well, thank God you didn't take your daughter back then.
Hey, thank God they look like their mother.
We had a few assassins back in the day.
Goodness gracious.
Hey, I got a question. The reffing, right? The rules changed, but I always had an appreciation for the refs in this era because they're fucking rugged. They dealt with a lot of shit, and they let the guys play for the most part. What was your guys' relationship with these refs? Go ahead.
Again, they communicated with you. They did understand what was going on, and you watch games now. There's no communication between the ref and the players at all. Nothing. And I think
That's the same way they
would explain things. They would talk to you, and they diffused a lot of things by doing that. So you had respect for them.
When you said they talked to you, would they let you know, like, hey, instead of calling a penalty, hey, that last play, I'm going to call you next time. Don't do that. Like, what do you mean by that? Am I on the right track?
Absolutely. Yeah, and sometimes even if you took a penalty, you could yell at them a little bit. Not that I took a lot of penalties, but you could yell at them a little bit a while, and all of a sudden they'd just be like, okay, that's enough. And you just knew if you went any farther, you're going to give you a penalty, but you might be confused. For sure.
That respect, right? Like, it's an unwritten rule, and I just feel like that's maybe coming away from the league, and I'm not saying it's gone, but when you guys played, there was an unwritten – there's just that respect, right? Like, I'm not going to fucking ride this ref. I forget where I heard the story. I think it was on Spittin' Chicklets when somebody made Ryan Whitney apologize to a linesman, one of the older guys, just because you don't act like an asshole. You know what I mean?
But hey, there was a respect, but there's also an understanding, right? They understand it's an emotional game. There's times I tell a ref to go fuck himself, and he'd turn right back and go, "No, fuck you."
Yeah, fuck you,
like, all right.
Stewie was the best at that.
Who's that?
You like that?
Burns.
No, Paul
Stewart.
He wasn't on this team, was he?
No, I got traded for him in
Barnaby got traded for Barney.
Yeah.
What a fucking great save that was, eh?
You got a pretty good one.
That one, Barney.
What's that?
Sabres won that one, eh, bud?
Fucking right they did. Fuck. I do it over twice as much now. The funny thing is when I got traded, I kept on fucking laughing because he went about 20 games after the trade and not
33.
What was it? You felt good about
33.
it?
Oh, something crazy. Oh, I was so happy for this.
Were you buzzing in Pittsburgh?
Well, buzzing. I probably had a goal in 20 games.
Yeah, buzzing for you.
But you always cheer for the worst. Like you never want, the best for the team or the guy that you get traded on. Then I played with him in Dallas years later, and he's the nicest guy. And I remember saying to him, I go, I wish so many bad things on you and your family. But you're like the nicest guy I've ever met in my life.
That's unbelievable.
So you actually felt bad about something?
Wow. I mean, reasonably, not at the time.
Hey, if I could fucking pay.
I don't want to change my
You're
view
right,
on
Razor. I don't feel, I am who I am. I really don't feel bad about much. No.
Hey, I would pay any amount of money to listen to you two go at it when you were younger, when you were coming into, like, I would pay to be a fly on that wall. Derek, Wardy, like, you guys heard it. Like, did these two Muppets go at it with each other, or how great was that?
Oh, you don't even you have no idea how fucked up it was.
Nonstop. Well, and then you throw Brad May in there too, so I don't know.
Oh my God.
Man.
Forget about it.
And Brad would walk around with his book about how to win friends and influence people and try to be the peacemaker, and then he couldn't figure out how to do that, so then he'd get involved in the whole mess. And
Whose side would
Really,
he?
that was one of the only, the greatest benefit of being able to play in NHL was to be able to be witness to that shit show every single day.
You're so right, Dixon. That's so true. That's so
But
true.
question: that first, well, not the first, I guess more or less the second fight that you and Razor and Barney was in. Like, was there any conversation between Ray, between you and Barney, like leading into that? I know you guys are friends, but like there was a lot of hype and anticipation with the fan base. Like, you know, they're gonna go at it. They're gonna go at it. Did you guys ever talk about it, like leading into it?
No, probably.
I think the one
right?
you're talking about, Barney was on a roll that game. Barney was on a roll that game, talking. And it wasn't us that were upset about it. It was Lindy at the time that was upset about it. And he's like, take care of him. I'm like, Barney, why the hell are you doing this? Come on. So, yeah.
Hey, great play right there, Barney.
About, and it didn't
Oh,
bother,
you should have. Was that in
Pittsburgh?
Pittsburgh?
Lindy.
Was that in Pittsburgh?
Yeah.
Yeah, right there.
Barney, you were on a roll. You were on a roll that night. You went down the bench and you gave it to every single guy sitting on that bench. You had some chirp.
Yeah, Razor gave me forewarning, but we didn't talk about it. I mean, our plan wasn't. We're friends. We're not. You don't go into a game wanting to fight a friend, but you know, I'm playing for the other team and I'm trying to piss them off, and you know, it just happened.
You fucking played your role, bro.
It worked.
And I don't want to fight Razor. Razor is one of the toughest guys I ever saw. I mean, I can honestly say I played with Razor for 7 years, with training camps 9 years. I probably saw Razor lose 2 or 3 fights. Like, and I'm not saying he was fighting the guys I was fighting. He was fighting the super heavyweights in the National Hockey League. He did not.
Did you say, Barney, you were a middleweight?
Right now I'm a super heavyweight. I'll fight anyone at this weight. I'll lose.
I know.
Yeah, no, I was a middleweight. I played at about 180.
Yeah, but you also fought, like, back in the day, you'd fight the team's second toughest guy, no? Like, that's not always a middleweight. Some teams in this era had fucking 6 heavies.
Yeah, no, trust me. I wanted to fight the lightweight, but or the featherweight, but it didn't always work out that well. You know, we had, like I said, we had a tough team. We had a team that really didn't mind doing it, and everyone had their role, and that was part of my role. Razor had his role. Dixon and Derek had their roles. Everyone had a role on that team, and I thought really embraced that role. I thought that can't go understated on this team, on how everyone did their role up and down that lineup. Even guys that came into the lineup did their role, like the Barry Moores.
Yeah,
that you'd slide in. It was like he was a 10-year vet on our team. We didn't treat him as a rookie. We treated him as a vet. It was awesome.
Can I ask you guys all 4 a question? And I don't want to bring up today's Sabres, but I look at and listening to you guys, that team, it's not just that everybody did the role and appreciated it and knew how important it was, but it also gave your skill guys room, and not only room, but confidence, and knowing that they could maybe cut to their weak side, cut across, right? And knowing that if the worst happened, it'd be dealt with. And I don't see that in this team, and it's fucking pitiful. If I fucking hate it. And I'm not saying, I know today you can't just be a heavy and not be able to play. You got to be able to play. But what is it? What is it, guys?
Well, I just think from watching the games, you know, every night, it's you don't have to fight. I mean, but when a guy gets hit or a guy gets pushed, it's a pack mentality. We don't. The fighting isn't. I don't tune in to watch a game to watch fights. Do I like seeing the odd fight? Yeah. But I think we've all evolved. I like the game equally as now in a different way. Yeah. Do I miss some of the era that we played in? Yeah, but when I watch the Buffalo Sabres, it's standing up for each other, and that's not fighting.
None of them play with jam. I feel like there's just I don't know. That's not the right way to put it, but you're right, Barney. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm done. That's it.
And you guys have? Is there anything that you see with? Oh, I thought that went in. Sorry. Anyways, going back to this game, 1-1 going into the third. Anything you remember about that second intermission? Hey, you're tied going in. What more could you ask for, right? 20 minutes to decide our fate. Let's be good here, and after 20 minutes, feel good about what we did, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I wish I could give you.
happened?
I don't remember that far back.
Oh, God.
Yeah,
Red.
we had played a much better second. We're at home. We're confident. We're coming in. I mean, literally, we have a chance one period, and you move on, and that's what it's all about. I mean, I don't, everyone dreams of playing in a game 7 as a kid and scoring the goal, but to be in that and knowing how crazy our fans were, and we had one period, the best goaltender in the world's out. We're doing it essentially with our backup and a bunch of guys that are working hard. So we're really confident here, and then this bullshit goes through.
They get this on Shieldsy? That's a straight shot, fellas. I know that there was a screen at the point, but the way I tell my goalies now, our one job is to stop the puck. Being screened is not an excuse.
You're not a goalie coach. You work for the Canadians.
When I look at this game now, though, now as a coach, though, looking like our team came to play, right? You just always you get into the big game like this, and the team actually comes to play, and then whatever happens. And I think it's pretty clear our team came to play in this game. So it's just a matter of could we score enough to win. So it wasn't a matter if we weren't playing well or if we could get it going. It's a matter could we make it win.
Right, and look at your response after the goal here. You're not sitting back. You're playing your game. Please tell me, though, guys. Barney and Racer. Holy shit.
Danny is absolutely wrecked.
Who was that?
Shannon.
Yeah, you can
Gorski, Shannon.
The guy's fucking dead. But please tell me somebody chirped Yashin for that god-awful turtleneck. Holy shit.
It must have been cold in there, maybe. I don't know.
Oh, my God.
Hey, there's another big difference that happens with, like when we played, there was no social media, right?
Thank God.
We couldn't get any feedback about how we played except from our teammates. They're the only ones that we tried to impress were your teammates because they're the only ones patting you on the back. The players nowadays, they get all their feedback from Twitter. Doesn't matter what the coach says, doesn't matter what their teammates say. As long as the fans on Twitter said you're playing great, then that's all they care about. That's the first thing they do after a game is check Twitter.
I think that's horseshit, though, Dixon. I think if you value what those Muppets say, you're fucked.
But it's just the way of the world.
I get it.
There's no letting the horses out of the barn.
You know how much more we would have gotten.
You need really strong
we had Twitter.
Not even you, Bernie. If there was social media and Snapchat when I played in 2010, I'd be in fucking jail for 30 years.
Oh, yeah, and I'd have 31 more cities with prospects.
Fuck.
Tomato.
Hey, fuck, it is what it is. I grew up before that. Oh, but I mean, Dixon,
you didn't say gender.
Dixon, you have a point, but my thinking is this. Do not most guys, like I don't play at that level. I never made it past the East Coast League. But if I were at that level, I wouldn't even have social media. Like at that point, or if I did, I would mute all the comments. I just think that's playing with fire. You guys remember the fan boards? Like the noof and stuff, like you know what we're talking about. Mm-hmm. My biggest mistake was my first year in the OHL was reading the fan boards. My confidence went from 80 to negative 100. I almost fucking knocked it up. I cried. I called my parents. I said, people fucking hate me. I suck.
Well, the only way we got feedback was radio show. What was that guy?
WGR. I think WGR had a thing.
Oh, yeah.
Well, if you had a good game, you would listen to the radio show the next day.
What was his name? Mike Robitaille?
Dickerson.
No, there was
Chuck Dickerson. Yeah.
Robitaille was on TV.
Was Robitaille
back then?
He was a dick, Mike Robitaille.
Hey, but you know what I appreciate about him? And I never got chirped by him. At least he was fucking hard and consistent.
I remember Chuck Dickerson brought in a caller and they traded Mathis Barnabas. It wasn't even Matthew Barnaby.
Hey, does that guy at least have good hands?
Yeah. Mathis Barnabas, we got to get rid of him.
Hey, I've always wanted to know, Zhitnik was a staple on the Sabres blue line for not having the best boots of all time. The guy was a fucking warrior.
Oh, you got it all wrong.
Fucking t-shirt.
He might be the fastest skater ever play hockey. I think he caught up to Pavel Bure one time.
No, I mean, like, compared to today's defensemen, like, they're not the same. It's a different breed. I'm not saying he's a bad skater, but he did it all. My point I remember watching him as a little kid, and it felt like he was Superman on the back end because he blocked shots, he hit, he had good gaps, good sticks. He would chip in offensively. What was he like as a guy, as a teammate?
Who knows?
Oh.
Nobody ever heard him speak.
So he was one of the Euros
Yeah,
that
he
he
was
bought.
awesome. But
Yeah, he was great. Old Z, he just sit back there and relax and just
Vodka.
yeah.
Russian
Hey.
guy.
found him in the sauna. He had a bottle of vodka in the sauna. He had the flu. And he was drinking the bottle of vodka to get the flu out of his system in the sauna.
Get that old
and
MJ.
Russians do it all the time. He's a Russian.
Oh, what a play! Who was that? Look at that.
Dixon. Sneaky hands.
Should have
Hey,
got the puck.
Razor, on that comment, I'm pretty sure that Bugner put in a steam room in a sauna in Windsor just so they could get drunk twice as fast.
Yeah, his
It
buddy
worked.
Warren Reichel is
Hey,
good
Warren.
partner in crime.
Hey, you guys got any good Warren stories? Because I have a fucking couple that I don't even feel comfortable saying online because I feel like you'll kill my family. I love Warren. In all seriousness, hey, that guy's a competitor. He was a great GM. Listen, in one intermission, he came down and almost fought Cassian, and they were fucking squared up. And that would have been a great tilt because even though Warren was old, I think he could have gave Zach a go.
Yeah, he was tough.
He was tough. I played with Warren in LA before this. And I remember it may be my very first game I played in LA. We were in San Jose and he was fighting. He fought everybody and he fought Jeff Odgers. And Jeff hit him so hard, he just exploded his nose. And I remember we had the Kings plane back when McNall owned the Kings, and we had his fancy plane, and Bundy's at the back of the plane. He's got two tampon-looking things stuffed up his nostrils. His eyes are watering. There's blood trickling down his face, and we get up in the air in the pressurized cabin, and his head was going to explode, and his head is size of a large pumpkin. And I just remember looking back in the plane going, who is this guy? Who is this guy?
Fucking Warren Reichel.
Yeah, he looked like somebody dug him out from a grave from 3 years ago. The way he looked. He was tough. He was a gamer. He led the league in fights a couple of years. He was crazy.
I have one other Warren Reichel story, but I just got to give it up for Barney there. Really fucking selling that fucking call, buddy. Loved it. Yeah. Hey, you're doing your job, buddy.
Yeah, thank God it's super grainy, even in the, it was a different game there. You could trick refs a lot easier than you can now.
Well, hey, it wasn't grainy to them. They're on the fucking ice. They're not watching on TV, bud.
No, but we're again now. There was so much hooking and holding. You had to, if you didn't sell it, you were never getting a call because you were allowed to get away with so much shit. So, for me, I had to sell them if I wanted to draw penalties. Yeah. Because everyone got hooked.
Is there not? I think that gets lost in all of it. There's an art to that.
Yeah, I mean, some people say, oh, you shouldn't dive, you shouldn't do this. At the end of the day, I don't care. I just got to get our guys on the power play, and we had our guys to go out and go 2 for 26, it looks, in this series. So.
Hey, Ray, did you ever fight Bundy, Reichel?
No, never did.
Just never had the opportunity, or
never?
He was always up in the West, right?
I'm not really sure if I ever really played.
You fought him?
Yeah, I fought Bundy twice. Yeah.
How'd you do?
It was okay. I think one was like an exhibition game. And then one was like a wrestling match, which kind of I put the seatbelt on a little bit. But
yeah,
the one I think I was like 19. I think it was like one of my first exhibition games. And I just said, can we go? And that was kind of the old school thing.
I have a lot of respect for guys that would give young guys fights, and I feel like that is something that's a lost art.
Yeah, he was awesome, and we fought. It was a pretty good fight. No one got hurt or anything, but. Now our kids are actually really good friends, and my son's friends with a lot of those.
Kirby?
What's that?
Kirby Reichel?
No, Madden.
Oh, Maddox.
Yeah,
I played with Kirby in Windsor. Maddox was like a 13-year-old, but no, they're a good family, man.
You played with Kirby?
Yeah, I played in Kirby for the Spits.
I was there in the hospital the day Kirby was born.
No way.
In LA. And this kid was like 22 pounds.
He's huge. He's huge. He's got a bigger head than Max Domi.
he came out with a broken collarbone because they had to yank him out of there. 'Cause, Warren's wife was a wee little thing, and this kid was like
They
no
throw
one
a couple
he's
extra
12 or
stitches in?
14 pounds, and he came out of the chute with a broken collarbone.
Yeah, no, Mrs. Riker was a sweetheart. I heard that, Barney. You're fucking awful.
I could just
Oh,
see Warren. Hey, Doc, stitch her up.
Hey, Doc,
a little more.
couple more.
There it is.
There we
Oh
go.
no, I missed it.
Missed it.
The infamous backhand face-off goal.
Oh, yeah.
So you guys were talking about before the game.
I got an assist there. Look.
Hey, Barney.
Yeah, Barney got the assist.
Hey, go grab the puck, Barney. They don't come often.
Oh, this is awesome.
So a
Can you
face-off
imagine
win.
Oh
Wait,
my God!
Somebody
That was
walked through it.
He touched it. You got it, Planter.
Yeah.
Oh, there it is.
That's how I got it.
Yeah, he's
Oh,
just watching it. He's just like, oh my God.
I've done that before. I walked because he set himself up a little bit outside, so I was walking right through the middle. I think once he realized I had got him beat, he just whipped it.
I think you had told me that
went to the
before
center
because I was jumping. I think he had lost 10 faceoffs in a row. So we were
Yeah,
planning
so I was
on
just-
jumping it anyways.
I was just going to go to the net with it, and he just shot it in for us.
So was he trying to bump it to his beef, like a kind of like TD?
No, he was trying to get it away from me because I was walking right around him.
Are you a lefty?
Yeah.
Oh, so you would have had it on your forehand.
Yeah, if I walked right on my forehand, me and the
I hated those as a
So if you're
goalie.
looking, you see Wade Redden is in front of the net. He lives down the street from me. I give Red shit all the time. He should have blocked it.
Are the Islanders still paying Yashin?
Probably.
They've been paying him for a long time.
Yeah, him and DiPietro, they're still got term left.
Hey, but as a goalie, those center slips, as long as you have the backside wing going to the net, they're very hard to play. It puts the defenseman in a bind, right? Like, are you going to go down? Or are you going to take the shot, right? Like, I always hated those. Who's that just died in the corner?
Zinger.
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 Look at Stumpy. Oh, that's Jason Daw, isn't it? Bill in there.
Look at this little.
It's Stumpy.
Yeah,
I'm impressed by the pace of this game, though. It's pretty good.
Yeah, man. The neutral zone regroups are a lot faster than I expected.
So
everyone says the game's faster now. It is to a certain extent, but the cameras are better.
Yeah,
it looks faster. But if you watch some of these games,
guys are going pretty good.
They're going
Look
good.
at the wheels on Tugger.
Yeah, they are.
And the physicality is crazy.
Yeah,
I missed the physicality. Oh, look at that hit. That's a great
Jason
hit.
Dawes throwing like 10 hits tonight.
And not only that, Bernie, the hits he's had has created separation and turnovers.
And he's taken 6 minutes in penalties as well.
So we talked earlier about how you guys were just a family. Everybody had a role. Just you were a tight knit group. You know, whose house whose house is the house everybody went to? You always hear the stories about the Bills. Everyone went to Kelly's house. Whose house on these like teams? Where was the gathering point for all you guys? Where did you guys party the most?
Elmo's Bar.
Razor had good Halloween parties.
Yeah,
over
the closest bar.
I think we went to Stumpy's for the Super Bowl.
Stumpy's?
Yeah.
Right? We had the parties there.
We didn't have too many houses because none of us had any cash.
You're all young yet.
No.
Everybody's on entry level deals. No bonuses back then. What was the did you guys, was it the same as it? I was never a big downtown Buffalo guy. I've never a Chippewa guy. Was it different back then? Was it more like spread out?
There was no Chippewa then.
So what
Thank
was?
God.
Oh, what a save!
Thank God.
That was the.
Who is that?
This is a game 7 of Calder Cup the year before.
Who is that? Who scored?
Zinger.
Oh, the whole Zinger?
Zinger
That was
scored.
Brodeur? Was that
No, that would have been Tugnut. That would have been
That was
Tugnut,
the year
right?
before with Tugnut.
Yeah.
Oh, feel it, Plugger. So you guys are already in his head. Feel it, bud. Game 7. It's going to happen again. No, but hey, on what you guys said, the speed really does amaze me. I have it in my head that it used to be a lot slower, but outside of the grappling and the holding, like you're moving the puck well, guys are getting up and down the ice. It's just a fucking war when you have the puck.
Yeah. You couldn't skate.
Or
3
fighting
feet
for open
without-
ice to the net.
So someone that you can't get 3 feet without someone hooking you, but the speed.
Look at that mugging in the corner right there.
There's going to be no more penalties for the rest of the game for
And
sure.
that's another thing that I missed. The refs,
That's the
like
main rules for sure.
the refs, you guys said were good communicators and they were consistent.
Pitchfork.
Pitchfork that guy. That's great.
That's a can opener.
But hey, like you guys said, the refs were consistent and they communicated. And I feel like you go back to San Jose, Vegas, and that 5-minute penalty off the face-off, that never would have happened, no?
No.
A couple years ago in the playoffs, you guys know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. No.
Yeah,
Never.
no.
That's a game 7. Like, that doesn't fucking happen.
That's crazy.
We got a question here from Buffalo Soldiers. Speaking of the Amherst, how did playing there help your development for the Sabres team? For those who did.
Well, I'll start. For me, it was huge because I had played 3 years prior in the NHL in Vancouver, a couple years in LA and Toronto. Then I signed as a free agent with Buffalo, and then I went down to Roch. Pissed off for a while, obviously. But Tortorella was down there, and Torts was awesome for me to change my game, to get me into a different role in the game. I came in the league as an offensive guy and realized pretty quick that there was 6 or 7 guys on every team that were better than I was offensively, so I had to change. And so it helped me, and then going to the Calder Cup and winning that was a game changer for me. I went back and played 6 or 7 more years in the NHL after that, so it was huge. It was a great spot to be.
Good answer.
Yeah, for me it was I ended up playing 92 games over 2 years. One was in a lockout year and I went down, and again, you get bitter because you don't want to play in the minors, right? You want to play with the Buffalo Sabres, and that like everything else. I just felt like I was failing if I wasn't up there. But having said that, you learn how to play against men. I think that's the biggest thing. You got guys that played in that league. You
learn how to be a pro.
You learn how to be a pro, but battling men is a lot different than battling boys, and that's a big thing for guys. Is just the heaviness of the stick and just making a play a second quicker when you come up, from junior or college. You have that extra second, and obviously going to the Amherst, you learn to make those plays quicker, and it's an evolution going to the NHL that it just becomes that much quicker, and your role just gets defined even a little bit more. But great spot. Rochester is an awesome spot to play.
I have a piggyback question on that. The AHL, like from the guys I talked to, I never got there, but it's still a grind, right? But the game has changed completely. Back then, the NHL was a physical league. Was it still the same thing? Was the AHL that much more physical, a little bit less skill, a lot more toughness? And I'm not taking away from the NHL because it was tough back then, but was it the same kind of idea?
Yeah, really tough. And Razor can speak to it too. I always say it's equally as tough as the NHL. The guys probably aren't. I mean, there's a lot of guys that are tough, but the difference is the guys that fight in that league back then, they didn't skate that well.
Yeah,
the guys that didn't make it out, and there was no fucking cameras.
Yeah,
there wasn't going national or cameras, so guys could get away with a lot. So it was a very tough place, almost the wild west back when we were down there.
All right, I got one more question.
Yeah, those guys were there. They were there for one thing, and it was fighting, and that's what you had to deal with.
I got one question, guys.
Going there, box. He said, "Hey, the only way you're going to make it is play this role. You want to do it." And that year, I think I had 46 fighting majors, 400 some minutes, 46 in penalties.
46 majors, Rob?
As Matthew said, it was men. Pardon me?
46 majors?
What's that?
46 majors in one season.
Crazy.
In 63 games, I think I played.
But you don't see that anymore.
Crazy.
Guys,
it was crazy back then.
I bet you Ryan Reeves, the heavyweight of the league, doesn't even have 46 majors.
Hey, yeah, that's crazy. I'll tell you a quick story. The year before I played for the Maple Leafs, I went down at the end of the year to play like 5 or 6 games with St. John's on a road trip through the eastern U.S. swing. And Ryan Vandenbush was playing for St. John's at the time, and we were playing in Providence. And he had 3 fights during the game. Finally, they got kicked out after their 3rd fight, and then another one in the hot dogs lineup after the bar. So 4 fights a night adds up pretty quick.
I got one question for you guys. Late in these games, in the playoffs, you try to stay in the moment, right? And not think of the consequences, because when you do, that's when you lose your edge. And in this game right here, what was the emotion like on the bench? What were you guys thinking? What was the attitude on the bench? Like, do you guys have any memories?
Oh, I think you're just so in the moment. You're not thinking big.
Sat there the whole 3rd period. Make sure
Raise your
you're being a
hand.
good teammate.
Well, how much of it you see teams nowadays late in the game, they're almost playing for a tie, right? And I know this is playoffs, it's a little bit different, but I hate that. I love 3-on-3 overtime, but I hate teams playing for the point. And now it's different in playoffs, like I said. But do you change anything in your game, or do you just stick to what you do and just everybody fucking does their role?
You're just not trying. Again, you're still trying to make plays. It's the same game. You're just trying to. You're just a little bit more sure, because one mistake costs you the game, right? Like, you're still making a play. You're still trying to beat guys. You're still trying to make plays. You're not chipping it in, but you're not taking that chance that you would in a 1-1 game, 2-2 game in game 52. You're really being diligent, and you're making sure if the play's there to make, and you think you have a really good chance of making it, go for it. If you feel like it's a 50-50 play, you're going to be safe and live to fight another day. And
last it out, live to fight another day. Hey, is that Holzinger look like he's the fastest player in the league right there? Did he have good boots?
Oh yeah, he could fly.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Effortless.
Yeah, he just look at this. He beats 2
The
guys.
problem was
Puts them both and just blows right
3
by
feet behind his.
Say that again, Razor.
Problem was his hands were about 3 feet behind his feet. So his hand could never keep up to his feet.
And the brain was somewhere in between.
The fucking year after, I played on a line for a bit with him and Jeff Sanderson, and we had to do laps at the end of every practice. I'd be like, guys, you fucking take off. I'm going to break your fucking ankles.
Hey,
never catch them.
Grant, was that you that went for the slip there again? No,
I didn't see it.
That was a righty. I'm sorry.
Razor and Planter's head they have lights above that are shining too bright.
Yeah, too bright, eh? You can't see nothing.
Hey, but did Ted shorten the bench here at all?
Maybe.
He did. I haven't played in a period, so yeah. I think he was going 3 lines here.
Yeah, I think we're probably going. Yeah, probably 3.
It's a pretty heavy pace we're going at right now, so it looks like everybody needs a little break.
What was the biggest difference? Obviously, you guys went from Ted to Lindy. Actually, the year after this, what was the biggest difference between their styles of coaching? Obviously, Lindy just seems like a little bit more, rough around the edges, a little louder. Ted seemed a little more calm and poised. What was the biggest differences between their styles from players that have played for both coaches?
One liked me and one didn't.
Pretty much the same.
I'll echo the sentiment.
Hey, Rob, what's it like for you seeing Lindy when you guys played Jersey the other day? What's it like seeing him still behind the bench?
It's good. I think Lindy's come a long ways. Lindy was a little harder, on us and back then. And I think that by him going and being assistant coach for a few years and sort of sitting back and watching and, maybe taking the effort to get the guy to know the guys a little better, talking to listen to the guys in Jersey the other day that, they love what he's doing. And, I think he's come a long ways, and he's got a little better idea how to handle the young kid now. I think he kind of, at some point he was struggling trying to figure out the young guy. And now he's made that effort to do it, and so far he's doing well.
So I
He's
had
playing
him.
hard. That team plays hard.
Yeah, I went to Sabres training rookie camp in 2012, and it was at that time where you started to see the revolution of play or the evolution of players with that culture change, and that was his last year. And you could tell his communication wasn't up to snuff, and I think those years off definitely helped him, eh?
Oh yeah.
So
yeah, I
hey,
remember having a conversation with him in Dallas one day, and he's like, you know what? And he started telling me how, the things he read, the books he's read, all this kind of thing on how to deal with, individuals. And I think that, he realized it and he did what he had to do to make the change. So I give him credit.
In the league, right?
You got to change with the player. You've got to change with the player because the player has changed from this era to today, tenfold. It's a totally different guy.
Hey, Derek, I have a question. 2-6 was buzzing there that shift, but was it this rink where you guys could rim it around the Zamboni door, or was that the odd?
I think it was the odd because what was going to happen in the odd because it wasn't even round. I don't know what was going on there, but yeah, a lot of quirks in the odd for sure.
This is you on the face-off here, eh?
Porky Palmer used to put his foot on the door and it would pop out in front of the net on a wraparound.
Derek Plante with a
big somebody in the door where a bench would go, and they'd kick that door right when the puck came by. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, that's what I heard it from. Who was it, Babs?
Yeah, he put his foot on the door, and it would come out about a half an inch,
and it would shoot right out. You get the goalie to come out and play it. Yeah. So, player, who are your line mates here?
Barnaby and Grochik, I think.
Yeah.
So, hey, did your back hurt from carrying that line?
Fucking right.
Sorry, Bernie. I love you, buddy.
I love playing with both those guys. Love playing. Planter's so fast and skilled and can shoot a puck. Really underrated shot. He loved going shelf. Groshi was just stupid and worked his ass off.
Yeah,
he was strong too. Like he was man. So he would just go to the battle and the guy would be on his back.
Hey, who was Ottawa's head coach here? Is that no? That's not
Jacques Martin.
Jacques Martin.
Fuck, these fucking hair still brown.
Jack Martin.
Jack Martin.
Jack Martin.
Jack Martin.
He hated me.
Well, Rob,
that's right.
Lineup. So, Rob, why do you hate you?
I don't know. When I got traded there, the first thing he said to me when he called me in his office is, "Hey, I just want to get this straight. You're not here because I wanted you here. You're here because John Muckler wanted you here." I'm like, "Hey, no problem, Jack. What time's practice tomorrow?" So
Hey, the slip almost worked again there, eh?
You were cagey there.
Pekka almost went fucking slip to the house right there.
Yeah, he did.
So Barney, you might remember this. You remember you played a couple games in the FHL. Pekka came out and he was such a skill guy. You know what I mean? Late in his career. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I don't now, but I've had 13 concussions and.
I just remember playing against him a couple years ago, and remember seeing him play with such jam and be such a physical guy. And he's out there going low blocker, a foot off the ice after stick handling. It was a treat.
He was a skilled guy, man, that fucking destroyed guys. He couldn't play a game now. He hit so hard and so late, but man, did he destroy guys. And I especially remember the line the year after as Dixon, Verrata, and Pekka. Man, were they a great line for our team?
Oh God,
and really, Dixon, Pekka had really good
nice line
I
understanding.
think
for each other, really smart.
Peck's loved being a defensive player and getting the big hits. I think he could have been a
lot of big
No.
He just liked that part of the game,
That's playoff hockey right there. No penalty.
Hey, Dixon, what do you remember about that line the next year?
It was the easiest hockey that I ever remember playing because we knew exactly what we were supposed to do. And the one good thing about Lindy was that he really knew how to run a bench. He could make in-game adjustments and matchups and make, he really smart at running a bench during a game. And we went through 3 or 4 years there. We never even had to be told to go out. We knew exactly who we were going out against every time. We knew exactly what we were doing. If there was a penalty kill, we were going out. So we could basically, the three of us basically didn't need to be told a whole bunch. We just knew exactly what we were supposed to do. And that's for a player, the easiest and best thing, where there's no confusion and there's no, looking at the coach going, what do you expect from me? We knew exactly. And Verada was awesome because we would just throw the puck into the corner on V's side, and he would just go smash the shit out of people. And we can just look for loose pucks. And we had a lot of fun playing with him because he just did what he was told. He was a young guy, and
he created space for you guys, right?
He was unreal in that way. And we played a lot of playoff games after this, and he was a huge part of the success we had after this. That was my favorite group of guys, the line to play with for sure, for the next 3 or 4 years after this.
Verada, man, I loved watching him play. I actually last summer when I was just going garage selling, got this gem for $10.
Yeah,
Verada, Louisville Lockjaw autograph, $10 at a garage sale. One of the best garage sale purchases of all time.
These kids don't know the joy of heating up the blades, do they?
Oh, they don't.
There's an art form, eh, Dixon? We spent a lot of time at that wood table.
Oh, there's no question about it. I'll tell you a story about Verada. Was it Verada? Razor, you'll remember this story where he was putting one of those blades in a shaft outside of the locker room, and he had the melted glue, and did he burn Georgie or something with the glue, and our equipment manager pissed him off, and he was just a young Czech right out of the gulag, and he got himself in a little bit of trouble by abusing our assistant coach by accident with hot glue, and but he was something. And Pekka and I used to piss him off in practice. We'd say, Pex and I would say, okay, let's not pass to V the whole practice and see what happens. And he'd get so mad, and he'd be wound up for one-timers. We'd pretend we're passing to him, and we'd shoot, or whatever drill we were doing, we wouldn't pass it to him. But he was great. He was a hugely valuable player. I think Pex had 27 goals. The next year I had 20, and V had 7, but he was responsible for all of them, the way he played. And come playoff time, he was even way more valuable, especially when we played the Legion of Doom in Philly. He would go after those guys like a dog on a bone. It was awesome.
I have a quick question about the Legion of Doom.
Yeah, he had no fear, right? Just no fear, no care. Just went.
No.
So, hey, that Philly team, was that Lindros, Leclerc, or like who? That was after Bobby Clark and them, right?
Lindros, Leclerc, and Renberg.
And were they that dominant?
They were huge, and they were dominant down low.
Huge.
Yeah, they were good.
They were average of 250 apiece, and below the dots, they were unbelievable. So they would always control the puck below the line. Like Leclerc was as good protecting the puck down low, and Lindros, you know how big and strong he was, and Renberg was huge. And so what Lindy would tell Vaclav to do is when they're spinning behind the net and all that, you come right down from your point position where you're covering your point, and just when they got their head down, just run them.
Yeah.
And he would just come flying down and catch those guys. He would leave his position when there's a guy's trying to escape from somebody. He would just come and run a guy for no reason, and he was awesome at that. He pissed those guys off so much that the next year we beat them in playoffs, I think, or the year after. We just dominated them because V had them so pissed off they couldn't think.
So, hey, we got a quick question from Kevin Stanzik. He says, I remember thinking the only thing missing was the blue and gold. Anybody wish that, or it doesn't matter what jersey as long as you win? So what jerseys you guys prefer?
I love these ones.
You like those ones? I always like the blue and gold, but
yeah.
Or is it aesthetically, or is it because the memories you had?
That's a good.
I like the look of these ones better. I like the logo better.
I'm a traditionalist. I like the old traditional ones.
But I didn't play much in the blue and gold. A little bit the year before, but I didn't play much in it. I played mostly in this one, so that's probably why I like it better.
Yeah.
Oh, did you see that hit behind the plate? Holy fuck.
Dixon, have you seen the retro jersey this year? On the shoulders, it has this logo on the shoulder in a blue, gold, and silver.
Yeah, it looks really cool. Yeah, it looks really cool.
Rob, were you kind of hoping that they would, instead of the reverse retro being blue and gold, that they would have done some version of this, the GOAT jersey?
No, I'm partial to the blue and gold too. I think that this logo in the blue and gold that they have on the shoulders now should have been the logo in the middle.
Yeah, instead of the crossing sword, right?
I agree.
Yeah, that would have been fucking 6 midnight in a hurry.
I agree.
Hey, so was Ted a good bench manager? Like you guys touched on it earlier, but some coaches, they talked about Terry. Who was it that got fired up in Montreal? Julian. That he was a bad in-game adjuster. That he wasn't good about telling the guys to change. Like that's got to suck. I learned my lesson that I'm not a head coach because I got too busy watching the play. Right? I'm a goalie. Was Ted good about that, or did he delegate it to his assistants?
Well, Donnie Lever always ran the D.
Yeah, I think he was average. I don't think he was great at it. I don't think he was bad at it.
Yeah. No, he wasn't bad at it. Like he ran the bench good. What Lindy did really well was he would see what the other team was doing and he'd make adjustments in the way we played. So he'd say, okay, these guys are doing this. We need to split our D. We need to create space here. And if he saw somebody was really feeling energized or whatever, he would get that guy out there as much as he could. Or if he saw somebody was struggling, he would get him off. The one thing Teddy did, was early in the year when Patty was still in the lineup. Whatever Patty looked at him and said, I want a new left winger because him and Audette were always together. If you were on Patty's left wing and you didn't score the first period, you were down to the fourth line, and the fourth line left winger was coming up to play with Patty. So I remember watching Patty go to the bench, and I was playing with him, and he'd look at Teddy and give him the old head shake, and the next thing you know, I'm on the fourth line, and the fourth line left winger's back up playing with Patty. But he got better as we went, and as I told you, he matched lines. They had a plan. They had a good coaching staff. He had really good, smart support guys around him. That there's a lot of fun playing for these guys.
I have a question. I know Barney's not here, but Randy Cunnyworth, I got to play against him in a Thursday night Rochester league. I know he had a stint as the Rochester coach. I didn't know he played for Ottawa.
Yeah, he's in this game too. He's on the other team.
Really?
Yeah.
Now, when did he make the switch to our organization? Was that at the end, or did he play for us?
I think came later. Yeah.
Because
I think he ended with us. Yeah, he ended with us, and then he started in Roch right after that.
You guys know that ring from downtown Rochester, Gen Valley?
Yeah, we play there. My kids play there.
Yeah, so we'd had this Thursday night league. It's 6 teams. It's good. Connie's still got it, man. As an old guy, he can still move, and it's fun to see that. So, good guy. Hey, so one quick question. I know overtime starting. Dougie Gilmore was my coach in Kingston, and the first day I knew he was still going to be good, but he came out with a flat stick, no curve, and he was zipping it around. What do you guys remember about that guy?
Yeah, he was awesome. Like he was
God.
Like a lot of guys in the league, he was so good. I do remember the straight sticks though. And
they're right? Same as Gretzky, same pattern as Gretzky.
About like an 80-mile-per-hour backhand. I just every time it went past me. The guy was 52 when he coached me. So a couple clicks for Dougie. Guy's a beauty.
Elite. He's elite.
Are you saying 52 is old?
Yeah, what's wrong with you?
Sorry. Hey, I'm getting there. I got a knee of a 90-year-old. You want to give me your meniscus, Rob? So hey, going into this OT here, we all know what happened.
I look after myself.
What's the mood like? What did the lines go down here in OT? Was there any change in game plan, or was it, hey, let's just be better and go get the next one?
And what was
the game plan? Is shoot everything, as you'll see coming up. Get across the line and shoot.
Derek, what was going through your mind here? Was that your first shift in OT coming up, or did you have a couple?
I don't remember. I don't remember what time of the game it was. I just
it's 5:34.
5:34 into the period. So
I don't know. It's 5:34. I don't know if back then it meant 5:34 or you guys would know better than I would.
Usually that's the time into the period. So yeah, I don't know.
For all these years, I thought it was double overtime. That's crazy because I remember what end it was in, and it couldn't have been double overtime.
So yeah, wait. If you guys remember, in the third period, did Ottawa score right away?
Yeah, they scored.
Yeah, okay, then it is 15 minutes into overtime. So it's 5:24 on the clock. So I'm sorry, I thought it was 5 minutes in. Sorry, we got a question from a viewer. What is the emotion like scoring a Game 7 series clinching overtime goal, Planner?
I mean, it's just that's what you dream about your whole life, you know. And obviously, like that group of kids or group of guys, we were just kids, and just all of it was amazing. Like you just don't think it's going to happen to you, and it happened.
To the
end. Awesome.
If any of you, was that your only playoff overtime winner?
Yeah, I think so.
Like, it's one of those stats where, listen, like, you just don't have a lot of opportunity for that, let alone a Game 7 overtime winner. You're only playing so many playoff overtime games, right? So that's got to be cool. Do you still have the puck?
Yeah, I have it upstairs on a shelf.
Awesome. Honestly, that is by far. I know there's a lot of like famous Rick RJ calls, but I think yours in this game is one of the most underrated ones. It's my favorite of all time. Like when I think of my favorite like Sabres moments, yours is the very, very top of my list, Derek. Hands down. Just the way he built that moment, the way the aftermath, just the energy of the crowd, and just, are you ready, Legion of Doom? Here comes the man. It was unbelievable. That is why RJ was the best and still is the best.
I think we all get a lot of response from this game because I think everybody could feel there's like real emotion with kind of young guys, and we were a working hard team that I think everybody kind of just grabbed onto in Buffalo, right? So even RJ, who does, I mean, he's such an iconic voice. Anything he says is pretty awesome. But, you know, I think it's just genuine emotion. It's real, right?
Hey, Wardo, was that you on the wraparound or was that 15 Holzinger?
That was Barney.
Speaking of which, where did Barney go?
He took the option.
Hot date.
What's his name?
Happy hour. Oh, it's late for you guys. It's only 6 o'clock in BC.
I was going to say, Dixon, I could see the sunlight still. Hey, I got to say this, man. You were my mom's favorite player. She raised 2 goalies. My brother played at Quinnipiac. I played Major Junior. She was a saint. You know, having a goalie as a kid is fucked. They had double the fucked. So I just remember she always loved your game. And Dixon Ward was a favorite. So she wanted me to tell you hello and thanks for all you did.
Yeah, no, that's great.
And Rob, she wanted me to tell you to ask you if it was hard to eat with no hands. I'm sorry, buddy. I love you.
Don't even answer.
Hey, dude, if there's food in front of me, I'm going to get it in somehow.
Hey, guys. Hey, when Rob coached me, I was 15 years old for the Bowman Cup. I ran my mouth to him, and he punched me bare-fisted in the head on my helmet, and I am still concussed because of it. Okay? But Rob, you know that.
Razor, I remember at one of the Booster Club dinners for like season ticket holders. I think it was at Samuel Grant Manor. I was this like little like 11-year-old kid, Pat LaFontaine jersey, and I was devastated that Patty was hurt like for most of the season. And I come up to that table where you're all signing autographs, and I look you straight in the eyes and I go, "You think Pat LaFontaine will come back?" And you, just being you, just look me square in the eyes. Not a chance. Like, not a chance. Just gave me zero hope at all. I think I went home and I cried.
The boys. I love it.
Hey, you got to come
Tell like it is.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie to you. Would you rather me lie to you? And then you would have walked away and you would have went, you lied to me.
Yep. Yeah. Oh, man, that was I used to love going to those dinners, though. And I think the ones of the following year, you were able to eat. You paid a certain amount. Those were always a lot of fun.
Jason Woolley just had a fucking bowling ball shift. Holy shit! What was that guy like? Look at him. He just kicked the puck in too. What a beauty!
He's a piece of work, Woolley.
He's a piece of work.
Hey, Rob. In all seriousness,
special man.
Hey, Rob, I was a backup goalie for most of my time, and I had to find a way to contribute to the team from the bench. Like, I know that you played a lot and you played your role, but in a game like this, man, seriously, how did you contribute?
I opened the door for them a lot and made sure they had water and.
No, but like seriously, I know you did more than that. Would you talk to him on the bench? Or like,
you're always encouraging guys and talking to them, and you're right at the door as they're coming in, right there.
You that gave him a stick right there?
Gave him a stick,
100%.
That's incredible.
The thing too is you always know Razor has your back, right? He's always encouraging. Well, give you a few bucks for a while, but.
And that goes a long way. Even as a goalie, when I knew that I had defensemen that would take care of me, I could play a little bit more aggressively. I could, play my game. And I just think that that's a missing piece in a lot of teams in NHL. I know the game's changed, but it shouldn't have to be your young first-round draft pick fighting guys. But, what a hit with that. Holy fuck. I missed that play, bro. Hey, have your head up on the boards, boys.
Razor was more than just about fighting, though. Off the ice, everything else. He knew he was there for you. He took care of us a lot of ways. So,
and that's why I'm happy that he's in the role. And Razor, I'm not trying to suck you off, but you being a part of the podcast, you encompass what was right with the Sabres. You bleed blue and gold, or in this case, black and red. But you see the game well, and I appreciate what you do.
Here.
I think that our job.
Yeah. Dog nut. Hold on.
Derek Plante step inside the blue line, slap shot, and the Senators are going home.
Look at Teddy. He jumped over the boards. That's great.
Hold on.
Red ahead. This one's going to go all the way to Shields. Shields tapping it behind the net. Yali comes up with it there and banks it off the glass all the way to center. Back again by Duchesne, knocked down by Plante. Plante slides in over the line. Plante took his shot. Are you ready, Legion of Doom? Here come the Buffalo Sabres.
That
was unbelievable.
cool, dude. I got chills, man.
I just get chills when I watch all the teammates jump out there and come on the ice. That's just so cool.
I was the first one off. I was off the bench before that puck crossed the line.
That's so cool.
I could never skate, but I skated faster than I ever did cross that ice. I'll tell you.
You never get a better reaction from a goalie who just let in a Game 7 goal than you got from Ron Tugnut right there. They're just like looking back, watch it slowly cross the line.
The one thing I miss most about hockey was overtime winners or a shootout winner when the pileups. Like, I miss a lot, but I miss that the most because there's no replacing that energy and that life you feel. Walk us. I know we'll finish up soon here, guys, but a step over the blue line, Derek. You pull it to your strong side. You shoot through a screen and fucking feel it, Tugger. You don't got enough of it, buddy. That's incredible, man. Oh, I love to see it.
Yeah.
Love to see it. So, hey,
Tristan, the funnel guy. There he is.
Hey, I'm going to go through each of you. Planner, I'll start with you, and then we'll finish up. Just take me through that shift. You get the bump inside the neutral zone. You're coming in on your offside, cutting to your strong side. What's going through your mind as you come to the blue line? Did you know that you were going to take a slap shot, and did you really try to use that defenseman as a screen? Because as a goalie, those are the hardest shots to stop.
Yeah, I don't know if I had any grand plan. I mean, once I got over the blue line, I'm glad Barney stayed on side there. But yeah, same thing. I just tried to rip it on net, right? I don't know if I knew it was going in. I didn't pick a corner.
Rip.
It's always shot high, right? Shot high, good off his ankles.
Bucks on that, good things happen, and you could tell he doesn't pick it up until late, and that's why. Like, these kids don't know. It doesn't need to be. I tell my defensemen all the time at the point or shots from far out. It doesn't need to be a bomb. It needs to get through, and that's incredible. Dixon, where were you when that happened? You're on the bench?
I was on the bench, and I was the first one off the bench. As soon as it flipped off his glove, I knew it was in. I was halfway across the ice before Plante even knew it was in. And I'll never forget, because when you go into games like that, you're way more excited not to lose than you are to win.
Well, and
so
I think you're absolutely right. Like, holy shit, we didn't lose.
It was a massive relief, right? A massive relief that we didn't lose the game and we get to go on. After the fact, you're excited you win, but it's just so scary to lose those games. And as you saw a few years later, we did lose a big one. Plante was on the other end of that stick again. But you just relieved not to lose.
Hey, Razor, I'm going to tee you up next, but I've only been in one playoff game 7. And for me, it's the thinking that no matter what, you're never going to have the exact same group of guys together. And that, for me, is your season's not over. You get to continue on. So you're fighting for the life of that team. And that, to me, is the most cool part. Of course, I was on the bench for my overtime game 7 winner. But, Razor, what do you remember about that moment, buddy?
Well, I think that, in that game that, emotions rolling, it was so tight. And I think that these guys, you're watching them and they're coming on and off the ice. And you hit a point where you start to run out of gas a little bit too. And you start seeing guys come on, you're seeing how they're reacting coming off the ice. And then sometimes it's like, oh my God, okay, we're fading here a little bit. Or, you see certain individuals, you sit on every little thing, even though you're watching them, that, well, you don't want to see somebody make a mistake, not because so much, hey, you might lose the game. You don't want to see somebody fail because, they're going to have to deal with that for forever. So, and I think in our case, our guys we're used to playing those kind of games. Like I don't think we played games that year or even the year after where you were blowing teams out. We were always in tight games. So guys were very comfortable with those games. And, I don't think ever a panic set in or anything like that, but it's just, at that point, it's a team, man. You don't care who scores. And it's, you're so excited for everybody that, it's just awesome. It's the greatest feeling you can have when you win a round or like there in a game 7. You don't experience that all the time. And there's guys that play their whole career and never experience that.
And that's what I mean. I only had one overtime winner. And man, that is a special feeling. It's something I really, as a goalie, you miss that the most, right? You're all the boys coming to get you. It's just a special feeling that I know I'll never feel again. And
go ahead. Every time I see that video, I just think of how much I miss the guys and just being around those guys in that group. And it's one of those things you miss when you're done playing. And
you don't think about it at the time, right?
Yeah, it was a great time.
In the moment, you never realize it. You never think this could be the last one. And looking back, really, I missed that the most. I didn't have 1/100th of the career you guys had, but that feeling of being with the boys and that moment of elation and everybody's together and the smile on your faces, it's not only that, it's the thinking, where the fuck are we going to go tonight, boys? And that moment, right? So on that note of it, where did you guys fire up, or were you guys so gassed that it was just, hey, let's flush, let's get home, let's shut it down, let's go to Philly?
No, there's no way you guys went home after that.
Nobody was flushing nothing. I think we were upstairs in the what's the name of the Harbor Club or something up there?
Yeah, the Harbor Club at that time, yeah.
For quite a while, we were in the rink still. And then maybe went to that, what was that restaurant we went there in last year when I came down there in the back alley there. What's the name of that place?
No, I don't remember.
Oh, Razor, I know what you're on Allen Street.
Corner Cobblestone?
It was in a back alley. Thurman Thomas and I used to go there all the time.
Come on, Razor.
Thurman, big Sabres fan. Big Sabres fan.
Come on, Razor.
Anyway, it was a little hole-in-the-wall restaurant that was really good.
So,
used to go there for late-night dinners all the time.
Mother's? Was it Mother's?
Exactly. It was Mother's.
Mother's.
Yeah. After that game, you guys get your gear off. How soon did you play Philly? So you guys have the full green light?
Yeah, we had the green light, but then we probably flew.
Well, no matter what, right? You weren't starting the next day, so what's it really matter?
Yeah, exactly. We probably had 1 or 2 days. It was game 7, right?
Hey, but after playing that much, it only takes fucking 6 or 7. You know what I mean? You're fucking not dehydrated. But just being with the boys and knowing that had it gone the other way, that would be it. That same group of guys would never be together again. That to me is special. And enjoying that, I think, are some of my most funnest memories. And like I said, I never got close to where you guys did. So, and like,
yep.
Any special memories from being around that group?
Who was the jokester?
Who was the jokester?
Yeah, who was the one pulling the pranks? Who was the one always goofing off?
The guy that was funny guy all the time, but I don't know if he's part of that group, was Jay McKee. He might not have come till a year later. I don't know if he was there then.
Yeah.
Jay was
Yeah, Rose was always the kind of guy in the middle of stuff there. And
yeah.
We had a, it was a young group of guys. Like, I would say on that team, if you look back, would we have had a half a dozen guys married on that team at the time? Like, that might have been, a lot at that time.
Were you married at the time?
No, there wasn't a lot of
Stumpy and.
No way. No, I didn't get married till I was done playing.
Yeah, I was married. Tex was young. Barney was young. They had their girlfriend. That's a whole nother story. The next time we can talk about Barnaby's wedding. That's
Rose might have been married.
Yeah,
Gary Galley was married, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Would have been.
Yeah. Here's I got Barnaby wanted to apologize. Yeah, he got cut out and they had to do a radio interview. But he said he probably lost his reception because of the size of Razor's head blocked the satellite.
He never stops, eh?
Barney's so funny, eh? He's just got it. I laugh my ass off of that guy.
Well, you can use my ears for a satellite dish.
I get texts during the games because he listens to all the games, and I get texts during the games, and he's just going off on something, and he's unbelievable. I love it.
What was it? Ray, I'm sure you've been asked this a lot, but another Ottawa game. What was it like being in between the bench when Ruff and Murray were really going at it? Like, I know you've probably been asked this, but you can kind of go off the cuff here on Two Goalies on Mike with your answer if you want.
Well, that was the first game that I actually went live. Normally, when I was in that box leading up to that point, they would turn the mic on when you had something to say. So they felt, hey, this was the perfect game because I just got done being with Ottawa and knowing our team that, that was the first night we went hot for the whole game. So when they started going at it, the thing that really sticks in my mind is RJ yelling in my ear, through the mic, cover the mic. And I'm like, and I'm holding the mic like this, and it doesn't matter. The sound's still going through, and you're laughing. And it was funny because Lindy and Brian were friends. They had worked together in Florida. And Brian stuttered a little bit sometimes. And Lindy looked at me once, and he smiled, and he goes, and I'm like, I'm dying laughing, right? And it was like, so it was awesome. It was Lindy fell through the door, hit his shin, and he was like, oh, and I'm holding the door shut so he can get his leg up on it. Yeah, it was cool. It's one of those situations that was fun to be a part of.
There was another time after you guys lost a playoff series. I think it was in Philly. Somebody threw like a can or a cup of beer at Lindy from the stands, and he grabbed one of the guys'
No,
sticks.
it was a water bottle.
It was a water bottle? Oh, what? Tried to go up into the crowd with it and go after him.
In Philadelphia. Playoff game in Philadelphia, and I got to stand on the bench during the game. So I was able to be on the bench, and I wasn't dressed for the game. And when all of a sudden everything started coming on the ice, Lindy's like, we're walking off the bench. This water bottle comes from a long ways and just smokes Lindy. And it was just like,
where did it hit him?
It was like, it almost knocked him stiff right there.
Where did it hit him?
I think it hit him in the shoulder.
Oh, fuck.
In the shoulder, I think. Yeah, no, but it came from a long ways, and it got him good. So
yeah, I just remember him grabbing somebody's stick, trying to climb up over the boards. Like is that about to go in?
There was so many things that happened in Philadelphia. It was such a fun place to be. Remember one night? I don't know. Were you guys with us when Torts was when coach here? Were you guys part of the team then?
Yeah. He was the assistant my first year there.
Torts was in an argument in the old Spectrum with somebody behind the bench, and Max was the coach at the time, and they're arguing. and Torts goes over there and he gets involved with it. This guy, you could reach over the glass in the old Spectrum behind the bench, and the guy grabbed onto Torts' tie, and he had his foot up on the wall, on the glass, pulling the tie, and it was like literally choking Torts. And finally he got it away, and he runs over to Pizza, and he's turning red, and he's like, because he couldn't breathe. The tie had gone so tight. It was just some things there that it was a pretty cool place to be.
When we interviewed Shields, he told us, like, there was a story about Tortorella where he was having an off game, like his head wasn't in it. It was in Roch, and a puck just kind of like, he thought the period was going to be over with, so he just kind of zoned out, and a puck was dumped in on him, and it just hit him, and it kind of sent him back, like, oh, I didn't see that coming. You could tell from the bench, he didn't see that, like, dumping coming, almost went in the net. So he skates off the bench, and Tortorella just was glaring him down, and then Tortorella follows him in the locker room, pulls Shields into a side room, and just starts motherfucking him for like five straight minutes. Shields, like, he called me some of the worst things I've ever been called in my life. Nobody's like, he told me I didn't deserve to be in the AHL. I'll never make it to the NHL. He just did not stop. And you know, Shields is a bigger guy. Torts is smaller, and Torts goes, you got anything to say? And Shields goes, well, I'm not gonna lie, I kind of want to punch you in the head. And Torts says he looks up at him like this, takes his finger, sticks in his chest. He goes, fucking try it.
That's Torts.
That's about right.
So Torts one night in Washington, Torts is on the bench his first year in the old Washington rink, and puck him over the glass or over the boards, hits him right in the jaw, breaks his jaw from the shot that came over the boards. You know, the rest of the game, he's like, you know, he wouldn't go and get it taken care of. Next day, he shows up at the rink and his mouth is wired shut because he had broke his jaw.
Oh my God,
that's crazy.
Torts is a beautiful man.
I love the way he coaches, bro. Me and Duane talk about it. I jokingly call him a friend of the show, but like, I just feel like that's a dying breed. I love how he's honest with the media, and I think it's good for this age of soft kids. I have one question off topic. So, Planner, Dixon, do you guys play against each other in the old WCHA?
Yeah. Yeah.
So that was Duluth versus North Dakota. Any good memories or stories from you guys there?
Yeah, mostly.
I think we won all of the games.
Yeah, I think they might have. We got retribution my senior year, but you might have been gone already.
Yeah, I was there probably a couple years before you.
Yeah, my freshman year, we had a good year. We had a really good team, except we got beat by North Dakota 6 times. So that was my memory there.
Now, Rob, did you play Major Junior?
Yeah, Cornwall.
Now, hey, Cornwall's trying to get a team again. Was that a fun town?
It was an excellent town. Super people, super place to play, great support. It was awesome.
Now, hey, we'll finish this up. We really appreciate you guys being here. It's been a ton of fun. Duane, I don't know about you. This has been my most favorite show. Just having you guys here has been incredible. I know our fans loved it. I've gotten over 50 messages from people saying how much they appreciate it. I think, hey, a lot of it is we grew up on the backs of you guys making hockey fun for us. And Duane, we talk about it all the time. And Razor, you do for a living.
Yeah.
And I just miss it, man. And it's just been a lot of fun. I really appreciate you guys taking the time.
For me, it wasn't even just about wins and losses. It was, you know, I started playing hockey because of Sabres hockey, and I developed a lot of friendships that I still have today because of that. You know, I was a loner. I moved around a lot. My mom, and you know, hockey was the one thing I had that I could find a way to relate to people, and I had that because of watching the Sabres growing up. So if I seen somebody wearing a Sabres jersey or a Sabres hat, strike up a conversation, you know, I develop a relationship with somebody, and it just went so much beyond just the game and the rink itself, and just watching you guys and how hard you work night in, night out. It was almost like you always knew how hard we worked for the money that we used to buy the ticket that night, and you appreciated it, and in turn you played your asses off for us, and that's what made it so special for that era, especially because we just felt it. It didn't matter if we were winning or losing at the time. Like it didn't matter. We just knew that you were there for us, that you were playing as hard as you could for us. And that went such a long way for me and this fan base. And I just want to thank
the
you
whole
guys.
community, Duane. The whole community. Pride in the uniform. Pride in the logo.
That whole generation, second to none.
Yeah, if you worked hard. I feel good about it. Thank you. Appreciate it.
And for me, I enjoy it because I get to see Razor and Plante and reconnect with these guys. We don't get it. We're a long ways away from each other now. I don't get to see each other. We're all Planters in the middle of the continent. I'm on the far west side and Razor's out in the east, and we don't get to see each other as much as we'd like.
Yeah.
And years just go by, so it's good to reconnect. And Buffalo obviously is my son was born there, and it's a special place for me and my family, and the memories that we get to talk about stuff like this is awesome. So thanks for having me.
Yeah, me too. Nothing but great memories in Buffalo, so it's great. It's fun to see these fellas against you. So thank you.
And like I said, I hope we can do something like this somewhere again down the line. Pick another game, another memorable one that resonates with the fan base. I'd really appreciate you guys for sure. Razor, thanks again for coming on for a second time. This has been awesome. We'll see you on TV soon.
Not a problem, guys. Hopefully a little more positive outcome.
I hope so, man. Like I said, hopefully, one last thing. I know it's been talked about, for the last 24 hours. Razor, and I'm sure maybe you, Dixon, and Derek have seen it too. What will the outcome, or maybe what will spread from what Dylan Cousins did in that game? You being a guy who used to do that on the regular for your teammates. Will that resonate with the team?
I hope so, because Dylan Cousins is a pretty special kid. And I think that if Derek and Dixon had a chance to meet this guy, they would think the same thing, because, he's a hockey player. He knows how to play the game, and he plays it hard. He plays it right. He does all the little things. And, he might not get recognized for a lot of the little things he does out there, but he makes a difference for everybody. And just overall good kid. And last night, doing what he did, that meant a lot. And just hopefully the situation they're in, it gets a lot of guys' attention, thinking, hey, if this young kid's willing to go out there and try to make the difference and do what he's got to do to get jumpstart this group, then, maybe there's a lot of other guys that might follow on along the way. So you don't know until they move forward with it. They got three tough games coming up with the Islanders here, 3 in a row. So, they're going to have the opportunity to show if, it was any kind of a sparker, they're going to respond to it.
I just remember when Jack did it last year, and it didn't really resonate the way you hoped it would have. And I really hope it's different this time around for Dylan.
Yeah, and I know the kid. He played a few years out in our academy league, that in the Canadian Sports School League out here in the West.
Notre Dame, Dixon?
Pardon me?
Were you with Notre Dame Hounds?
No. The Okanagan Hockey Group out here. And Dylan played in Delta Academy and Yale Academy out here in our league. So I coached against him when he was, 14, 15 years old, before he went to the Western League. So I got to see him quite a bit. And you knew then that he was a special player. And I'm glad to see that he stepped up. And, you're a young player and you got stuff to do. You don't want to need to wait around, or you got something to do, go do it. And he seems to be figuring that out. He's a smart kid, and he'll be a good Sabre for a long time, I think.
I can't wait.
It looks like what I've watched a little bit. He's taking action. He's not just talking about it. So it looks like
he plays that 200-foot game, and he's got that jam for being a skilled guy. I love, even as an American, I loved seeing him for Team Canada. I appreciate the World Juniors. That's a ton of fun. Guys, on behalf of all of our fans and Duane and all of our producers, we appreciate this more than you know. You guys gave kids like me and Duane happiness, and not only that, you inspired us to fall in love with the game and do it for ourselves. And I think that's what's missing the most. And I have faith the Sabres can turn it around, but just know that you touched a whole generation of Buffalo kids, and you made us love the game and take pride in the logo and teach us so many important lessons. And I know that sounds cliche, but I really mean it from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for the blood, sweat, and tears you guys poured out on the ice. Razor, for what you continue to do for the organization. But guys, this was a dream come true for us,
Oh,
and we
man.
really appreciate it, man.
No problem. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank
See you,
you.
Razor. See you, Planter.
Keep fighting the fight. All
Good
right.
luck in the
Yeah,
playoffs,
see you,
Planter.
Dixon. Cheers,
Thanks.
Donald.
Yeah, we'll see you in the bubble maybe.
I'm not allowed to come down to the States. I won't be able to get back yet.
Oh yeah, you're stuck up there. Okay.
We'll
If you see my kid,
We'll
if you see my kid, say hi for me.
I will for sure. I can't give him a
All right.
hug, give him a high five maybe.
See you, bud.
Give him an elbow.
Right on. All right.